Hello, this is Mole Man in the morning. Good Mole Man to you.
Hello, welcome to Mole Man in the morning.
Good morning to you. That was more Christmassy than Barbershop Quartet, but I'll live with it.
It's Mole Man who's joined some sort of choir.
Cause as always, I think of these as I start saying them.
Mm-hmm.
It brought a tear to this Irishman's eye.
Hello, welcome to Mole Man in the morning. We are a podcast about how The Simpsons has a lot to say about society. I am your host, John, and I am joined, as ever, by my two delightful and musical co-hosts, Matt.
Hello.
And Michael.
Hardly ho, podcasterino, I sing for no one.
Okay, that's
Hardly
fair.
ho, podcasterino.
It's like the angels themselves are singing.
I was pretty fucking proud of that, gotta be honest.
That was good. I liked it.
It was good. It was good. So, yeah, you may have gathered that we're onto a musical episode. Not immediately, but
Say it ain't
there's music
so.
happening today. We are here, as we always are, to talk about 2 episodes of The Simpsons and see if they have much to say about the world in which we live. We are right at the end of Season 4. Season 4, Episode 22, Krusty Gets Cancelled. We are then going to launch right on into Season 5 with Homer's Barbershop Quartet.
Exciting.
And I imagine we'll probably have some sort of season recap between the 2 episodes, because we've done that in the past. So
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Cool.
I need to pull up the fucking episode list if we're going to do that.
Yeah, that'll probably be useful. There's 22 of them to remember, so... Yeah, before we get into any of that, we must ask and answer one simple question. What are we all drinking?
WTF is Simpsons?
WTF is beer.
WTF is beer. I don't think I can do a great Total Biscuit impression, but I will go with it. I today am drinking Steam Brew, a beer I've not heard of, but I'm excited to drink. How was that?
Pretty good.
All right, here we go. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the clack with my new mic set up, but here we go. There you go.
I heard
It's a can.
nothing.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
Nothing came
I
through
did
now.
get beer on my face doing that, so you better appreciate it. All right, here we go.
Cool.
That is beer. There's nothing like unique about it. It's an IPA, you know, it tastes like an IPA. It's very generic.
Who made it? What's this one?
Steam Brew.
Is that the name of the brewery?
It is dark where I am, and I can't fucking read it because this can... Oh, Session. No, that's the type of IPA. I don't know.
I was wondering that.
Okay, fine.
I
Shall
genuinely
forever
can't
remain a
read the
mystery.
can in this lighting.
That's fine. That's okay. I didn't need to know that badly. I was just curious.
Put it in the YouTube comments if you know, dear listeners.
It doesn't say it anywhere. It genuinely just says Steam Brew. I'm trying to find any kind of branding beyond that, and it doesn't fucking say it.
It might
Looks
just
like
be
it's
called
foreign.
Steam Brew. I found a website called Steam Brew.
There you go.
It sounds like it makes... Is it a sort of steampunky themed branding?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it literally... That is the brand name. It is Steam Brew.
I thought it was going to be like a steamboat. I'm quite disappointed though.
Fair enough. Well, I like that branding. That's quite charming branding. That's very
It's
cool.
not steampunk, but it's cool branding.
They've got hats with goggles on. That's literally steampunk.
Nope, that's very much not steampunk.
It's all the steampunks I used to hang out with.
Yes, we've had this discussion before, that is not fucking steampunk.
That was your look for a decade.
The
really
only
was.
thing that you need to qualify as steampunk is that it is the modern era, as if we never stopped using steam energy. That's it. It has a Victorian styling, and it uses steam power. That's it. All the cogs and shit have nothing the fuck to do with steampunk. They really fucking don't. I hate this. As soon as I fucking started, I was like, I should stop, and then I just kept going.
This is the earliest derailing in this podcast I think we've ever had.
Agree to disagree. It's an aesthetic. And
It's not an aesthetic.
It is an aesthetic. It is.
It is associated with steampunk, but it is not what makes steampunk. If you had all of those outfits, but then they all used fucking cyber tech, it wouldn't be steampunk.
No, it would be a different aesthetic. It would be cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, it's an aesthetic.
No! Steampunk does not... let's move on.
Let's move on, Michael. What are
I'm
you
right,
drinking?
you're wrong.
Well, I'm staring
Michael,
at my
drinking?
steampunk cat figurine, and I'm finishing off the hive mind mead that my good friend John got me. I will be ordering another bottle soon.
Nice. I'm reclaiming my commission at this point, apparently.
Ooh, well done. What are you drinking?
Crap, what have I got? Where's my can? What was it? What did I get? I got 4 Pure's Pomegranate IPA.
Woo!
Not disgusted by that one, Matt?
It didn't... What was in it? Sorry, I didn't actually listen.
Pomegranate.
Oh, I mean, whatever. It's fruit in an IPA. It's going to be bad.
It tastes more like IPA than pomegranate. There's just a vague fruitiness to what is otherwise a reasonably solid IPA. That's fine.
Fruit and beer just don't mix. They just don't.
I mean, beg to differ.
And you're wrong. Witty response. I don't know.
And Cog's a steampunk.
Nope.
No, we can't. With 7 minutes in, we can't spend 2 hours arguing about cogs. Krusty gets cancelled.
Oh no!
I genuinely, when I read this, was like, wait, was cancelled a term this long ago? But no,
Cancel
they meant
culture.
literally like the show was cancelled.
Well, to be fair, he does say something in the episode that might be slightly cancelable for.
I think a lot of people say a lot of things in most of this show that could be cancelable.
This is probably true. This one aired on May 13th, 1993. Did anything noteworthy happen on this day?
Okay, so lifting the curtain back on this segment, I get this information for this segment from a certain website, and sometimes they give us slim pickings. Sometimes we just brush over it and say nothing happened. But I'm looking at the page this week, and I've got to say, what they've come up for, what happened on this date of historical significance, is truly pathetic.
I feel like there's one noteworthy one, and it gets a weird footnote. Assuming we use the same website, which I think we do.
Right, so the leading headline here, the 6th annual business person run is held in Wall Street.
Okay, very exciting.
Comedian and TV host Arsenio Hall has a show celebrating his 1000th show. Cool.
In the
Good name, I guess.
Netherlands.
In the Netherlands.
Not the
yes.
US, Netherlands.
Yeah. George Brett hits his 300th home run, and then, like, in tiny writing, bottom of the page, methane gas explosion in South Africa kills 50.
I forgot about that.
No one cares.
That's not important at all. The death of 50 people.
Jesus Christ.
They'll get over it.
We'll pass over that and pretend that, given the insignificance it apparently deserves. UK number 1 is still the 5 Live EP, featuring George Michael and Queen and Lisa Stansfield. Still not listened to it.
Lisa Simpson then.
I came close. And the US number 1, That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson. I did not know Janet Jackson ever had any number 1, so this is news to me.
I would have assumed it, but I think any like singer from before the 2000s, if you told me they had a number 1, even if they didn't, I'd go, all right, just because that's how my brain works. If their name is famous, they must have had a number 1.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't say
That's
it
how
was
they
a
got
good
famous.
system.
Apparently I owe Janet Jackson an apology, and I humbly apologise.
I don't know a damn thing about Janet Jackson. I know the name, but I couldn't tell you a single song, so, yeah, beyond me.
She has slightly more famous brothers than a tit fell out once. That's kind of what I can give you.
Right, let's move on into the episode gags.
We were all just thinking about Janet Jackson's tit, I guess.
Fair enough, yeah.
Damn
Reasonable.
you, Justin Timberlake. Anyway,
Oh, her! I know who she is now. A lot of people's boobs have fallen out, but I remember the specific event of Justin Timberlake ripping off the like front of her top accidentally.
join the Super Bowl.
She had one hell of a piercing, man. Jesus.
moving swiftly on. So, the blackboard gag. I will not charge admission to the bathroom.
Hilarious.
I doubled over.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as funny as the couch gag of the family getting caught in a net trap.
Got a mild chuckle.
It was first seen in Selma's Choice.
I don't remember any of these, man.
We've made this very clear at this point, yeah.
Yeah, like, they don't stick.
They're not funny enough to stick.
No, they
other
really
than the
aren't.
circus, which is hilarious.
Yeah, they should have had the circus 22 times. That would have made this season.
I think they haven't used the circus enough, to be fair. I think we need more of it.
Don't worry, it's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
So, the episode begins with live from the polluted Springfield Harbour, emphasised by the hacking cough crab.
And its tagline, where the sewage meets the sand.
Where the sewage meets the sand. I think more things in the modern era need to start with live.
Yeah, we missed that. That needs to come back.
Yeah, I think the enthusiasm of announcers has kind of dropped over the years. There's not enough X Factor, Britain's Got Talent kind of announcers. Coming up next on Mole Man in the Morning. We need more of that.
All right, I'll try to remember to introduce the second half that way.
Good Mole Man to you. Dude sounds like he gets paid for every syllable.
Well, he's getting paid for a fair few here because he's introducing the Springfield Squares with your host, Kent Brockman. And it's Ken Brockman and a couple of celebrities. You'll be hearing the word celebrities fairly often.
This
In
is
this
I know
episode.
this
something
is
of a theme,
because
yes.
yeah, I know this is because it's to save on voice acting, like getting people to voice act. Because realistically, I imagine they would have wanted Troy McClure. But has a newscaster ever hosted a game show? I feel like that's a
believe it
very
must-
American thing, but I don't.
It's an
think I've ever
American
seen
thing. I think it has happened. I couldn't tell you any specific
couldn't-
example of
I
it.
mean, I would love it, but I don't think Trevor McDonald has ever hosted Pointless. You know what I mean?
Well, that is a missed opportunity.
Sorry, my apologies. Sir Trevor McDonald.
Right, can I ask also, like, is this a new location? Have we noted that Springfield has a harbour yet? Or have we just added a new location to the
new.
list of
This is
Springfield
definitely
places?
new.
I think we've seen Sea Captain at the harbour once.
We've seen
Yeah, we've
water
seen
in
it,
Springfield,
but
yeah.
I don't think they've like mentioned that it is
Yeah,
by
Springfield
the ocean
Harbour, yeah.
somehow.
There's been no specific
Even though
episodic event at the
They've
harbour.
done zoom outs of Springfield and shown that it is in a landlocked state.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that harbour just sprung up overnight. There was like a earthquake that led to a formation of a lake. It's fine.
It's alright, we see a fucking desert in the next episode.
Oh yeah, that was mind-boggling. But it's just like, oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Springfield has its
That was
own
insane.
desert. So anyway, the Springfield Squares is taking place, and we see that it's a various who's who of all the Springfield celebrities and a couple of former guest stars.
Since when did fucking McBain come from Springfield?
Well, apparently he
How
does. Just-
big is Springfield, man?
apparently it
big as it needs
encompasses
to be.
Germany. Or Austria, or wherever McBain is from.
I've forgotten his actual name.
Rainier Wolfcastle.
Rainier Wolfcastle. What a great name.
So we cut to Ken Brockman cutting to Mr. Wolfcastle, and they hype his new movie, which is Help, My Son is a Nerd. Wolfcastle basically explains the plot of the movie being he comes home and is horrified to see that his son is a nerd.
I'm
Brockman-
laughing already.
He's pointed out to Ken Brockman it's not a comedy.
Oh. I just like Kent Brockman's reaction, just, oh.
We then see the Coast Guard is in the back telling everybody that, specifically that all game shows need to get off the beach because a tidal wave is coming.
Was anyone else expecting him to then float by another game show? Like, as part of the gag, that there's just, like, multiple game shows being filmed on this beach because
It's popular. but-
hilarity, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
I think it would have made the joke slightly better. But no.
Oh, I think a lot of things would have made this episode better, but we'll go from there.
As the celebrities panic, Barry White summons everybody into his square of love.
I gotta
Barry's
admit,
back.
this got a chuckle out of me. Come to my square, it's high up and sexy.
It was better than his previous lines.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'd almost blocked them out of my memory.
It's weird that they got him back for another one, though, as well.
Oh, it's one line. They probably recorded it while he was there.
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, either that or this scene was supposed to be in the other episode, and
Yeah,
they've, like,
to
just
explain why
moved
like
it.
Barry White was in town.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Also, just whilst we're analysing the celebrities here, like, one of the folks on the top row is just Princess Kashmir, the exotic dancer from when Homer, I don't know.
Got
Does
horny.
nothing.
Yeah, he got
absolutely
horny that
wrong,
time,
does
yeah.
nothing wrong, and Marge throws an absolute fit after fucking cheating
That's
on
the
him.
one, yeah. Yeah, that one.
Everybody climbs up to the square except Charlie, who's been in the square for 30 years, and by gummit, he's going to stay. The tidal wave knocks him out, and Homer takes great joy in his death.
Yeah, he's dead now.
At that moment, Gabbo flashes up on the screen. I have an epileptic seizure on the floor.
That was a bit intense, man.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon Porygon Rockets moment all over again.
Oh,
isn't
yeah, battling seizure robots.
Basically, it's just Gabbo's name flashing over, and Bart wonders what that was, and Homer says he doesn't know. Probably somebody called Gabbo.
Do you remember when ad campaigns actually did unique things instead of just copying whatever was popular?
Yeah, can't take risks these days.
No.
There's money on the line.
Someone might feel differently about it.
Mm.
We then cut to Homer looking at the paper, trying to work out who Gabbo is, and Lisa points out they're not giving enough information. Homer says he's going to engage the entirety of his brain, which is a donkey covered in flies.
Yep.
We then see that there's a big sign for Gabbo, and Mr. Burns is very delighted that Garbo is coming.
Garbo.
I thought when he said Garbo, I thought he was like reading that as like Greta Garbo, because I think she's oldie timey, isn't she? And therefore it's
Yeah.
Mr. Burns' old gag.
It possibly
guess.
might have been, but it went completely over my head.
Greta Garbo was a star during Hollywood's silent and early golden eras. She was born in 1905. Yes, she's prime Mr. Burns fodder.
Yeah, that's
Good
fine.
times.
We'll assume that's what they were going for.
That's how I read it anyway. Yeah.
We then see Reverend Lovejoy doing a sermon on Gabbo, but the congregation gets confused and asks what it's got to do with Gabbo. So yeah, that was another bit thrown in.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I don't want to be too poopy, but I almost have nothing to say about this episode. Like,
My notes are
good
light,
nor
I've got to be
bad.
honest. Yeah.
Like, it's got good, like, you know, whenever we get what's his face, Beardy Man, saying anything, I find it amusing. But just him just be like, "What's that about Gabbo?" It was just all right, you know.
We eventually come, and the family are eagerly waiting Gabbo on the television, with Homer saying Gabbo will tell them what to do. And the limo opens on the screen, and Gabbo is a ventriloquist doll.
I suppose I do have something to ask here. Like, does anybody remember any TV events in the 90s that were like this? Oh, the family's got to get around to see the new thing that's on TV. Like, check out the new thing that's been hyped up. We've got to see this spectacle of a new thing is happening.
X Factor, I guess.
X Factor, interesting. Okay.
I mean,
Don't think
I
my parents
wasn't that
didn't care
excited
enough.
about it, but I know that it was like a huge event.
I feel like the only thing that's springing to mind for me was the debut of the National Lottery.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because it's Britain and it's got to be gambling, of course.
Were we alive for that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was some point in the 90s. Yeah, it was on TV.
I
It
thought
was a
the
big
lottery
deal.
had been
No,
around for fucking ages.
like 96, 97, I think.
Yeah, probably
I
something
was
like
fucking 3.
I didn't say you remembered it.
that.
I thought that was
1994, the
that
lottery was
was the point.
established. I would have been 7.
I was 1.
I was 6.
You guys are old. You're gonna die before me.
Those of you listening good at math can now work out our ages. Have fun.
I feel like we've talked about my age enough that people probably have a good handle on it at this point.
I am 31. There you go, I'll just say it.
I am 37. There, this is also said.
I'm in denial. Let's move.
I am
Gabbo is,
sad.
so we see that Gabbo is a dummy, and he's introduced by his ventriloquist, and I forgot what this man's name is. It became Arthur something or other.
Arthur Crandall.
Well done.
I'm literally just reading it off Frankie Act, dude.
Okay, fair enough. And the host, he reveals that they're going to be hosting a television show. It's going to be at 4 p.m. and Bart is horrified to realize that's the same time as Krusty. But Bart worries that cute character could take America by storm, but all he needs is a hook. And at that moment, Gabbo goes, "I'm a bad little boy." And Bart uses his own hook of "I
Yeah,
carumba."
it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hated it. Didn't like
bet-
it.
I had hoped they were doing at least something vaguely interesting with, like, obviously the cultural battle for ratings and attention and eyeballs, and obviously they sort of lampshade that a bit with Bart using his own hook, his catchphrase, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the whole Gabbo thing just, in spite of it being such a big part of the episode, it fizzles out to literally fucking nothing.
I think the whole episode does that, bro.
I'll get into it later, but this episode is just a means of how the hell can we get as many celebrities in one
It
episode
is, yeah.
as possible.
I thought we would talk about that a bit more at the end, but yeah, this was just
This episode
cram
has
celebrity
no
zone.
fucking substance.
Yeah.
It really doesn't now.
So we cut to Gabbo performing his own special song for the audience, and he does a Hully Cully dance, does a Vince Scully impersonation. He travels back in time. He throws dimes out to the audience.
Do you know what? Actually, I'll say one thing. This song was a banger.
Oh yeah, the song was great.
The song was
Yeah,
entertaining.
If the Simpsons do music, they usually nail it pretty well.
Yeah, it was one of those songs where I was like, I'd watch this show after seeing that intro. But, I mean, it's still a creepy puppet, but
Yeah,
I'd still watch the show.
Look, we get more creepy puppets. We get Imperial Guards, Cossack dancers.
Krusty the Clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clowns from the circus bit. And
Oh yeah, it does turn into a circus bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, and can dancers, and the fighter jets at one point.
Yeah, some surprisingly small formation fighters fly through the auditorium. Yes.
Simpsons predicted drones.
Krusty's not worried because he watches the episode and we see the big chains pile of cigarettes he smoked as this has been on. And he goes through the list of all these enemies that he's crushed and takes particular delight in crushing the Special Olympics.
Yeah, that was weird.
We then see Krusty get the ratings and realise he's losing to Channel Ocho, which is the channel that...
I like channel. I lost to Channel Ocho. What the hell is that?
Turns out that's Bumblebee Man, and we see the skit of Bumblebee Man getting 2 eggs thrown in his face.
It is worrying that the first laugh of the episode, and probably one of the only laughs of this episode, is just a dude getting hit in the face with eggs.
It's the sad noise he makes.
Yeah. I feel like, to go back to the Special Olympics thing, I think it was maybe like something slightly entertaining to readings. Not that like, oh, he defeated the Special Olympics. I feel like from Krusty's perspective, the Special Olympics was competing with him for the ratings, and then because it's the Olympics, it ended. And he was like, yeah, I beat them because my show's still going and theirs has ended. And it's like, it's the Olympics. It ends, dude.
I thought it was just like a simple way of establishing Krusty as kind of a piece of shit.
I mean, I think it's also that, but yeah, it's kind of funny to read it as like, oh yeah, I outlasted them. And I was like, it was the Olympics.
Right,
Of course
yeah,
you
okay.
did.
I get you.
We then cut to Bart and his friends playing with electric cars, and they're bored out of their mind.
Yo, I fucking loved those things as a kid. I was always way too eager, though, and I don't think I ever finished a lap without it, like, careening off the side at least once. Scalextrics, that's their name, Scalextrics. They were so good.
Did it ever occur to you to put your model train on it?
No, it didn't. I didn't have a model train. But what this has told me is I definitely should buy my dad some Scalextrics for his birthday because he loves Scalextrics. He has such fond memories of them.
Yeah.
Well, we learned that if you do put a train on it, it melts, apparently.
Fucking melts, dude.
At the moment, the boys turn on the Krusty show, and we see that Krusty's put on a fake mustache and is doing his own ventriloquist act.
The mustache that's big enough to cover his mouth is ridiculous.
But then see Krusty begins to set up a joke, and as it's going, the dummy's jaw falls off, traumatizing the audience. Krusty tries to appease the situation by pointing out the dummy's dead and puts his fist through its skull, which further traumatizes the kid.
It's quite horrifying. It really is quite grim.
Krusty at this point begins to get the dummy off him and kicks it into the audience, further traumatizing the children.
It looks nasty when it lands in the audience, yeah.
I loved how they used the same scream every time as well.
Why pay for multiple sound effects?
Exactly, yeah. They recorded one, they're going to damn well use it.
We will get into that when we get to some Barbershop Quartet.
I know exactly what you're going to say. So we then go back to Krusty, and he's got his new deal of he'll give, if you watch a show, you get $40, and the announcer announces that will not be honored. It's a nice little throwaway gag. We then cut to Mayor Quimby, who admits that he murdered his enemy, but like Gabbo says, he's a bad little boy.
This was too much to work as a gag for me.
Oh, it's
Like-
yeah.
Like, the pretense of the joke that he's done something wrong, he's going to use the slogan to get out of it because it's funny and topical, that's fine. But they went to fucking 90 immediately, where he's like, yeah, I killed 2 people as an elected official abusing my power, but oops, I'm a bad widow boy. No, like, I'm too focused on, why does no one care he murdered 2 people?
Well, he wins in a well, we get the newspaper headline of he wins in a landslide and 2 more bodies
Yeah.
are found.
Part of me's wondering, does it hit a little differently in 2025 when people are just disappearing people they consider to be politically inconvenient compared to 1993 when history had ended?
Yeah, I forgot about that. I briefly, for one shining moment, forgot the modern era we live in. But I do remember one thing, guys. We live in England. That's nice.
Yeah, so
Hey.
lovely. I mean, I don't. I live in Wales.
Yeah, you're going to be the 52nd state soon enough.
Wales, the 52nd state. Putting a dragon
I
on
like,
the
I like that
American
we're
flag.
higher up the. I like that we get priority over Greenland. Apparently.
Yeah.
Well, could you imagine anything more American than putting a dragon on the American flag?
No, I really can't.
Pretty fucking American.
Go back to Krusty, and Krusty has lost Itchy and Scratchy to the Gabbo show, and but don't worry, he's got a replacement. Eastern Europe's favourite cat and mouse team. What the hell was its name?
Worker and Parasite. Love Worker and Parasite.
This is insanely accurate to Eastern European cartoons, man. Like,
Oh, they literally based it on a real one, I think. Like,
yeah, I've seen Eastern European cartoons like this. It's kind of wild that they didn't really have to exaggerate for the sake of the gag, other than having them speak gibberish.
Basically, it's some crudely drawn some characters speaking a load of gibberish as some workers are starving in the background before it just
So fucking
degenerates
weird.
into loads of squiggles. And we'll go back to Krusty, who's just staring at open mouth with a cigarette in his mouth, wondering what the hell he's just watched. Before he cuts back to the fact that his entire audience has left, and we just hear the door slowly close behind him. It's all gone wrong for Krusty.
Oh, Krusty.
Then cut back, and Krusty reveals to his cast and crew that they've been cancelled. And Krusty says they can be proud that they've never had a bad show except the time Ray J. Johnson appeared. And Krusty explains Ray J. Johnson to the audience at that moment, who were probably wondering, who the hell is Ray J. Johnson?
It's useful for anyone in 2025 wondering who Ray J. Johnson was as well.
Yeah, I genuinely want to know if this was funny in 1990.
Apparently, according to Simpsons Archive, in 1978, a major beer company apparently did hire Ray J. Johnson to do that bit, and it was received, I think, about as well as Krusty explains it.
Man, this episode.
Yeah,
I'm quite impressed that he managed to get a cultural reference, considering that's the act. But Krusty says that everybody's like a family, and Sideshow Mel is about to say something touching, and Krusty tells him to shut up.
Yeah, just, more Krusty being Krusty, I guess.
We then get to where the episode starts to go insane.
Yeah.
As Krusty goes to visit Johnny Carson. Now, I do quite like Johnny Carson's Simpsons history story, and I think John is probably going to have more on this, I suspect. But basically, he played the Jose Canseco from softball play, where he initially was written to be not a great character, and somehow got rewritten where he's the most amazing man in entertainment, which is insane to me.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's so many bloody bits in this that I confess I don't remember that. I remember reading somebody had this rewritten, but I forgot that particular detail. So
Well, I think basically it was supposed to be like a shyster, wasn't he? And essentially he said, "Nope, I'm not doing that," and they went, "All right."
What,
And
so you saying that
this is
Johnny
why
Carson also did this?
mm-hmm.
That he demanded he be
brilliant.
basically Jesus for this episode.
And he was such a big star, they did it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to capitulate.
Yeah, I've got the original citation here. The original role pitch for Carson was one where he visited the Simpsons' house and mooched off them. Carson felt the role was degrading, so the writers took the opposite route and portrayed him as extremely versatile and multi-talented.
I mean, the thing
That's
is like
playing it very lightly.
the joke we got has legs, because it's not just that he is versatile and multi-talented. He is absurdly multi-talented, so it's funny. Him just mooching off of the Simpsons He's like, yeah, there's potential for it to be funny, but they already did that with Otto.
Yeah.
And also, what the fuck does that have to do with Johnny Carson?
I'm guessing the Krusty bit later on is probably what Johnny Carson probably would have been doing, is my suspicion.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they were... But honestly, I think what they came up with was better. Like the same thing with the softball player, like him rescuing the entire white goods of a house was hilarious.
As Krusty pays Johnny Carson a visit, he wants to deal with what to do with his future. Carson says he's sure that Krusty, who's been on television longer than him, must have saved up some money, and Krusty's response to this is the shop still buy human hair for weeks.
Yeah.
We then see they play a racquetball game, and Johnny Carson completely wipes him out. And as Krusty's invited for dinner but doesn't want to, Johnny Carson starts listing his guests as like he would if he was doing his talk show.
Oh, was that the bit?
Yeah, that's basically.
Oh, right, yeah. No, I didn't pick up on that. Carl Sagan and from the San Diego Zoo, Joan Ombre.
And he does the little sound effect.
Yeah.
We then see that Krusty's auditioning for a role on Melrose Place, and as Krusty's trying to pass himself off as a teen, I imagine, his nose kind of gives him away because it squeaks. But
Got a minor chuckle again. Just...
We're kind of seeing more of the bit where, like, Krusty's makeup isn't makeup, that's just it. Although the squeaky nose is an oddity, but, like, he is still in what ostensibly appears to be clown makeup, but I guess is not clown makeup. He goes into
that at some point as well, that it's like part of who he is, he just can't help it, kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, at some point, one episode we've had this season, was it Homer's Triple Bypass, where he's like, this ain't makeup. And like that, I think that at that point it kind of becomes canon that is not makeup.
Yeah.
Then see Krusty at the Springfield Downs, and he's bet his last $10 on a horse. As Krusty's trying to encourage the horse instead just wombles over to lick him.
That's cute. I like that horse.
We then see the family are watching the Gabbo show, and Gabbo's about to do his patented Gabbo crank call, and Bart laments the fact that Gabbo stole this from Krusty, and Lisa points out that Krusty stole it from Steve Allen. And Grandpa then goes into an explanation how everything is stolen, including the fax machine.
The fax machine is a glorified, toaster with
waffle iron.
Waffle iron with a phone attached.
With a phone attached to it. I like that, but it's Abe Simpson saying literally anything, so I'm gonna like it.
But also, he's right. Everything is stolen nowadays.
Yep.
Nobody does anything original.
It's all iterative.
See AI.
We see that the crank call is actually gone to Krusty, and Krusty's, when he answers the phone, points out that he thinks it's the call back for his porno, and tries to reassure the director he's all man.
This just made me uncomfortable.
Performance moment, I'm guessing, happened in the audition. Gabbo pretends that he's a representative of a Japanese company and they want to give Krusty money for an endorsement. Krusty's response to this is to do a slightly racist accent before he immediately...
Krusty cancelled, can confirm.
Krusty immediately backtracks and says he needs it bad, and Gabbo says, bad enough to hit yourself in the head with the phone, and Krusty proceeds to do such. We hear the clumps and the...
blood.
The audience laughs, and Krusty twigs what's happening and points out if this is anyone other than Steve Allen, they've stolen his bit.
I like that line.
I'm glad Steve Allen got his credit. Bart decides at this point he's going to ruin Gabbo, and Lisa tries to point out two wrongs don't make a right. They have a brief argument, and then Homer just calls from the kitchen. Two wrongs do, in fact, make a right. Homer makes a follow-up joke, which goes completely over my head. Did anyone catch it?
I do not know what Rex Morgan is. Is that a thing?
No, I was thinking that with the next episode as well, is like, we do need to occasionally have an American on this episode to be like, here's what this was.
We then see that, we're then out to Gabbo's studio, and Gabbo now has his own airline commercials. And Gabbo says that'll call those SOBs once the camera's off rolling, and this Bart sees his opportunity and tricks the lowbrow camera operative into looking at a limerick in the bathroom.
I'm very lowbrow. Next up, Funsville.
It's that guy with the same voice.
Yep. Never get tired of hearing him.
Yeah, he's informally referred to as Wise Guy, yeah.
Wise Guy.
Yeah,
Bart turns on the camera to catch Gabbo calling the audience the SOBs, and this leads to Ken Brockman doing a news report about how this isn't acceptable.
Not how cameras work. Just, it wouldn't just start broadcasting. And it also this was filming a commercial, so it wouldn't matter that it was recorded. None of this matters. This makes no sense.
Look, this is all just set up for the gag of Kent Brockman doing the exact same and then immediately getting fired. But I did get the chuckle
Kent
at
Brockman
the
in trouble.
trouble picture that appears.
He's doing the news, so like at least there's some plausibility for like catching him off guard
Yeah.
during a
get the,
live thing. Like you occasionally get snippets of people doing silly nonsense before when they think the cameras haven't started rolling yet, or at the end
We'll
of a
do it live.
thing, whatever. Yeah.
We then get the newspaper gag of Gabbo still being popular and Kent Brockman being fired.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
We then see Bart and Lisa come across a dishevelled Krusty holding up a sign which says he will drop his pants for food. Bart comes up and asks her how business is going, and Krusty points out it's not going well because
That guy
there's
over
an
there's
old
doing
man.
it for free.
Character that I got referred to here as old Jewish man is indeed
That
who
is his name, yes.
That's fucking weird.
in fact doing that, and his pants are down, and he's singing about the old grandman. She ain't what she used to be.
I did not know that this is where that bit came from. This is another one of those things that just lives rent free in my Simpsons archive.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was here either. Yeah.
Didn't know it came from such an incredibly boring episode.
Mm.
We then see that the kids take Krusty back to his apartment, and Krusty points out that he's been 35 years in the business and everyone's already forgotten him. And Krusty can't remember anyone as an example, apart from that man who wore a shirt.
The guy who always wore a shirt, Ed Sullivan. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't see that there's a picture of Krusty looking very unhappy with Luke Perry, and Krusty points out Luke Perry's his worthless half-brother. And Lisa points out he's a TV star, and Krusty pulls a face as he says it's on Fox.
Hey, get
Would
it?
I-
Fox. Get it? Because The Simpsons is on Fox.
Hey.
Do we ever see Luke Perry again as Krusty's brother?
No.
Thought not.
I do not believe so.
We then see Bart and Lisa go through all the pictures of the celebrities, which include Hugh Hefner and Bette Midler. And,
All the people we're going to see later today.
And Lisa points out to Bart very conveniently that if Krusty got all these people together for a TV special, it'd get his career going. Krusty puts up no argument to this, gives them the address book. I assume he was too lazy to do it
Yeah,
himself.
why can't
and
Krusty call them himself, man?
Because he's too washed up to call people.
Lisa run off, and Krusty declares that he's going to claw his way back onto television. He turns on the television, and the old Jewish man is now on the television in a spotlight with his pants still down, singing his song.
Yeah. Though actually, they do refer to him officially here as a crazy old man, but I've definitely seen him officially referred elsewhere. Well,
Yeah,
officially? I say officially. I've seen him on Wikipedia referred to as old Jewish man.
And then we see off screen that the old crazy man dancers have become, and we just hear his voice multiplied by multiple.
Harmonized.
I like to think they were all him.
Yep.
We then cut to the beginning of every single celebrity cameo, which starts with Bette Midler picking up litter for reasons.
Because she didn't do this, but like she definitely had a environmentalist thing in the 90s. There was a, I don't know what you'd call it, but there was something where you could pay money to sponsor the cleanup of a stretch of highway. So there was indeed that specific road sign somewhere in California, I believe, that did say litter removal for the next 2 miles by Bette Midler, because she was the one who'd paid the money for litter removal to be done at the highway. So
okay.
the gag here is that she's literally doing it herself.
Bette is taking the job very seriously, which includes hunting down Snake and throwing a beer can at him to crash his car.
Oh no! Bette Midler!
I made that line, didn't I, Mila?
Also, speaking of celebrities steering the direction they were portrayed, I think this was she asked for her anti-littering campaign to be like her focus in this episode.
Bette Midler agrees to do Krusty special and also lobs a can about 20 feet to take somebody out and cause them to spiral off the road into a cliff as they swear revenge.
I'll get
Loveless.
you, Bette Midler!
We then see Bart at the Shelbyville Playboy Mansion, so establishing Bart didn't have to travel that far.
Yeah, this was weird.
And we see Barton in his best Hugh Hefner cosplay as he and Hugh Hefner start discussing the biosphere of the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, they also used the exact same like bubble pipe bit of him like refilling it and then blowing on it, and I thought, wow, that's lazy even for Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they couldn't have him smoking a pipe, and I guess they just wanted it to
No,
look...
it's the exact motion of it's. But they might as well have like used the same animation, is what I'm saying. It just felt weird. If you want to have him smoking the bubble pipe again, that's fine. But they do the joke of him refilling it and blowing on it. Yeah.
Bart and Hef continue to talk about science and the bunnies, and Bart says, Gecko, you Heffen. You Heffen is not having it. So we then cut to Moe's.
Who somehow booked the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Red Hot
Sure, why
Chili
not?
Peppers. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are not happy because Moe lied about the venue holding 35,000 people, and Moe's response to this is, "We had 35,000 in last night."
Whoa. To his credit, it was only 30,000. It wasn't 35.
I'm sorry, I added on an extra 5. I apologise.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
you
can
can't fit
definitely hold-
35,000
can Definitely
people.
hold
Yeah, it's
30, man.
Completely unreasonable. Mel points out the crowd again, restless, and Barney wants Chili Willy.
We want Chili Willy.
Bart asks the Chili Peppers if they'll come play Krusty's event, and they say they will if he can get them out of the gig. Bart tells Moe what's that on the wall, and Moe stares at the wall trying to work out what's there as everyone sneaks. This leads to Homer coming in and asking Moe if he can join him, and Moe says it'll cost him.
My wallet's in the car.
Which, shouldn't your wallet have been with you anyway, because you're about to buy beer?
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
Maybe he had a tab, you know.
it's true.
Yeah.
Homer runs out to get his wallet, and Moe says he's so stupid before going back to stare at the
Now
wall.
back to the wall.
We then cut to Elizabeth Taylor's diamond-themed house, and she's polishing all her awards, and her agent points out that Bart and Lisa asked her to do the event, and he told them to buzz off, and Elizabeth Taylor was perfectly happy about that.
Good.
She'll be back, don't worry.
This will be important later.
I don't know that that's true. This will be included later, but I don't think it will be important.
We then see Bart and Lisa return to Krusty's apartment to give him the good news, and we just see that Krusty is now an absolute fat mess of a man.
They were gone for like 2 days.
Krusty reveals to get himself into shape he was drinking nothing but milkshakes, and Lisa says the low-fat ones, and Krusty realizes his mistake.
What is this gag? What is this gag? Because he would have gotten fat drinking nothing but actual milkshakes.
So that is the gag, that he thought he was drinking low-fat ones to get into shape, but he was actually drinking full-fat
It wasn't
ones.
low fat, it was diet. Like it was like those weight loss shakes that you. I don't know if you still get
He
them
was
these days. They
drinking
probably would have been
protein
popular in the
shakes.
90s. No, I don't know if they're necessarily protein, but I'm thinking like Weight
but
Watchers type stuff.
He says he was drinking nothing but milkshakes. He
I was
doesn't
drinking nothing
say-
but milkshakes. You mean those diet milkshakes? Uh-oh. Is the
That's-
line.
That's so badly written. Fuck that gag.
Fine.
We then see that Krusty is now at the Simpsons to stay with him to lose the weight. Homer tries to pull the couch bed out and realizes it's the wrong thing after absolutely
Just
trying.
ripping chunks out of it, trying to pull it out. Yeah.
We then see Krusty doing yoga with Marge, and Marge's hair is knocking everything down.
Aerobics, not yoga.
Sorry.
How dare you get it right? Get your fetishes right.
Here's a fun fact for you. This is the only episode that Marge's voice actor never appears in.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Holy shit! I never realized Marge never speaks.
It is to date the only episode where she does not speak, and this was a deliberate choice. The voice actress Julie Kavner actually sat this episode out protesting the overuse of guest stars.
Fair enough.
I think that's fair, yeah.
I don't think she was wronged. Then see that Krusty's trying to get his aim back with pies, and Bart hardens him a scalding hot one, which hits Homer square in the face.
It's cream. Why is it hot? It's
No,
It's
whipped
been in the
cream.
oven.
No, it's whipped cream in a fucking tin foil tray. I hate this episode.
I would like to stress that pie was not whipped cream. It was like a fruit pie. Because Homer's
it's
face
like
was purple.
I don't know what cream you're buying that's
You
purple.
can make purple whipped cream. That's not hard.
Why was he baking purple whipped cream? He was baking fruit. I stand by this.
No, he
It's a-
wasn't.
It's
What
a fruit
fucking
pie.
fruit pie has a massive lavishing of cream on the top? Like that.
That one.
Fuck off.
We go to the next scene, and Krusty and Homer are having a boxing match to get Krusty back in shape, and Krusty's not got the motivation until Gabbo comes on the screen, and Krusty starts beating the bejesus out of Homer. Maggie, getting worried, changes the channel, and the announcer announces that pork prices have gone up, and Homer starts beating the bejesus out of Krusty. We then cut to Krusty looking in the mirror, looking all jacked before he lets his muscles down, and we see he's still fat, but he's not as fat.
Yay.
He's back to sort of regular Simpsons level fat.
He's back to Krusty.
Yeah.
We then see Krusty's at what was the restaurant called? Because I don't think it was Krusty Burger.
It's the Gulp and Blow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ugh.
We've seen this before. Like Patty or Selma or someone went to it. At one
Homer
point,
Homer
but,
went there, didn't he?
Oh, is that the one? Yes, yeah, he did. That's right.
And Krusty's trying to convince Mel to come back for the show, and Mel points out he's not going to, mainly because Krusty never treated him with respect, including putting nitrogen down his pants and
Liquid nitrogen down his pants, yeah.
and hitting
And
him with
cracked his
buttocks,
buttocks with a hammer.
which is a fair grievance.
It is pretty reasonable,
I think that's
yeah.
a valid reason to be upset.
So Krusty says does Mel want to spend all his time working with preteens, and we see one of the workers drop Krusty's taco into the deep fryer
teen, yeah.
before he puts his hand in to try to retrieve it. Spoiler alert, kids don't do
Repeated
that.
screaming.
I'll get it. Ow.
As Mel points out, he's treated with respect by Mr. Johansson, who comes over to prove the point.
I quite like the line, is this clown bothering
Is
you?
this clown bothering you?
Because it's literal.
Then see Krusty doesn't want his taco, and the squeaky teen is quite upset about it because if he had a girlfriend, she'd kill him.
Ha 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 ha.
But you didn't like that joke?
No, I didn't.
We then cut back to Krusty's studios, and Krusty is rehearsing a balloon animal bit with Luke Perry, and Krusty makes a horsey.
Slideshow Luke Perry.
Krusty makes a horsey, and Sideshow Luke makes a 18th century carousel. Krusty is upset at being upstaged, but Luke wants to stay on because he wants to do it for Mom's sake. Krusty tries to imagine what Luke Perry can do, and imagines him being shot by cannon into a wall and then appearing on the cover of a magazine with his disfigured face.
New look for Luke.
Ah, Krusty.
Yeah, what a great guy. We definitely want him to succeed.
We then get the newspaper gag again of Krusty's special airing and Gabbo to have a real boy operation, which got a slight smile from me.
I don't even remember that. I completely blanked on that.
Is that giving the puppet a penis or something?
We then see a big queue going into Krusty's event, and Gabbo asks Ray J. Johnson, who is Arthur Crandall, who they've got, and it's Ray J. Johnson, which Gabbo's head starts turning at the thought.
I think that's it. Gabbo is now gone. That is the end of Gabbo.
The last we see of Gabbo.
I think he will appear in like cameos in future episodes, but like as far as the Gabbo story arc goes, who do we got? Ray J. Johnson. Bye, gone, done.
Though we can only assume Ray J. Johnson ended his TV career.
I guess that is the implication, yes, but still, like, God, what a bit.
We then see the show begin, and Krusty is singing the Send in the Clown song, and
yeah, and I realised where all of the time and money went for this episode.
On this.
Wait, he goes backstage with the Chili Peppers before that.
Sorry, yes, I skipped a thing. We see that Krusty's asking the Chili Peppers to tone down their lyrics, and the Peppers are not on board with this because the music is how they express them. Krusty then suggests a lyric change, which was...
he wants them to change what I got, you gotta get and put it in you to what I'd like is I'd like to hug and kiss you.
Chili Peppers agree and say that's much better.
That's much better. Everyone can enjoy that.
A surprisingly wholesome moment. Krusty goes into his song, as I just previously mentioned, and Krusty can't quite get through the end of it until Sideshow Mel shows up and finishes the song off with a flourish. They reunite, and Mel tells Krusty he loves him, and Krusty tells him to shut up. Yeah.
Just Krusty being a dick. Fine. I mean, yeah, what?
Well, speaking of Krusty being a dick, Luke Perry's ready for his stunt, and Krusty fires the cannon. Luke Perry misses the net, goes out the window, goes out.
This is very good. I will say, like, if there is one highlight of this episode, this is just a cavalcade of excellent visual gags here that I quite like.
So Luke Perry goes out of the window, through another window into the Museum of Sandpaper, out that window, through the window of the Quickie Mart, through the pile of acid there, poo happens.
He was stacking jars of acid. Why was he stacking jars of acid?
As Luke Perry goes off, you just hear him off screen going, "My face, my valuable face."
That got a laugh.
A poo throws down his final jar of acid. He goes through another window into the pillow factory, which unfortunately is being demolished, and you just hear Luke Perry scream.
Oh, God.
Then you just go back to Krusty looking quite sheepish. We then cut to the Chili Peppers doing their song, and they're in their underwear for this, and Krusty points out how degrading this is before he's in his little boy outfit for his little
Give me a bigger lolly.
We then cut to Johnny Carson, and Krusty asks Johnny Carson what he's going to do, like tell some jokes or something. Now Johnny Carson wants to lift up a car over his head and then start juggling while he sings some opera.
I think the thing that makes these bits funny for me, like again the baseball one, is that clearly the celebrity was like, "Nah, I want you to portray me in a positive light." So what the Simpsons do is then portray them in such a stupidly positive light that it becomes a bit. That like
yeah, it's just over the top funny.
he's not
yeah.
just an entertainer. He is the best entertainer of all time and also has super strength. And I think that's very clever.
We then cut to Liz Taylor, and she looks up at the screen to see Hugh Hefner playing the glasses, and she comments she's got to fire her agent.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a chuckle out of that.
We then get the scene of Krusty and Bette Midler singing their duet of Wind Beneath My Wing. And it's all very nice, and they cry at the end, and the audience claps, and Bette Midler tells Krusty he deserves an Emmy, and Krusty says there's no chance of it. He says he doesn't understand why as he begins insulting the members of the Academy before realising he's on screen. We then cut to Moe's, and we get the congratulation party, and
Yeah, sort of after party kind of thing at Moe's. Like, yeah, it had this massive celebrity star-studded celebration of someone's career. Where's the after party? Moe's.
we then see
Sure,
Johnny
why not?
Carson. Johnny Carson tell Krusty he hopes he saves his money this time, and Krusty is immediately given his jewel-encrusted nose.
Ruby encrusted clown nose.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers return in their underwear, and
I don't know why, but I loved how the last guy says hey to Krusty. He is so excited to be there.
Mel points out they can't come in dressed like that, and then we cut to Dr. Hibbert and Chief Wiggum in their underpants saying this is the style, and Chief Wiggum says it feels good, do it, and Dr. Hibbert takes him up on that advice by snapping his underwear, which Wiggum tells him off for.
Yeah, that bit. They didn't know where they were going with that bit in the end.
That's a weird bit. Yep.
Then see Krusty thank the kids, and the kids pay. There's no need because they're getting 50% of the T-shirt sales, and Krusty points out that Krusty's enraged because that's the sweetest revenue source.
Plum,
He says that's the sweetest plum.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Krusty calms down and says, that's fine, and thanks the kids. We then cut to the next scene, and Bart is hosting a toast. Elizabeth Taylor's at the window looking.
Yeah, I liked Elizabeth Taylor at the fucking window.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, she's like in the back, looking proper deer in the headlights. It's very funny.
Yeah, she's just got like pressed up against the window like she wants in. And Bart declares that Krusty is the greatest entertainer, except for maybe that guy. And we see that Johnny Carson is playing the accordion with Grandpa and Jasper on his head, and Grandpa asks if this is the right bus.
This is what I mean about like they just take it to the nth degree, because there have been like celebrity cameos in like other shows that just feel so inoffensive because the celebrity didn't want to be portrayed in like too much of any particular light, because it might ruin their image.
Mm-hmm.
So when the celebrities complain in Simpsons, the Simpsons writers are smart enough then to still try and do something funny with it, which I admire.
Everyone applauds Johnny Carson, and that's how the episode ends.
Yep. That was the end of season 4, the grand
this
finale.
was their finale for season 4.
Yep, it sure was.
So what did we think?
I struggled with this one because this is genuinely probably the most unfunny yet inoffensive episode of Simpsons I've ever seen.
I don't think it was. I think that's a little harsh. I don't think it was that unfunny. It had a few moments, but it was really not what they wanted it to be. You can tell they wanted this to be a big deal, and it. Yeah.
And it wasn't.
It's fine.
It
at best.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not a bad episode, but it is so far from being a good episode that it's mind-boggling. It is just not very. Like, there are 2 good laughs in this whole episode, and it's just nothing. It is inoffensive. That's what I mean.
What this feels like to me is when like money people try and figure out what makes stuff work and try to capitalize on other
People
people's
love
successes.
the Michael Jackson episode, so
No, what this was very explicitly this was they liked the baseball episode, the softball episode. It had a lot of celebrities and did really well. So they went, "Ooh, what if we get a lot of celebrities again?
Yeah.
That did well last time. That's what people want. Let's just throw celebrities at it."
yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
That is explicitly what they did. Is that on the record? Yeah.
Fair enough then.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It's just here's Krusty and Krusty's friends, isn't it? It's a very tentative plot pulling it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think also I saw somewhere we have obviously seen a lot of big stars this season. people were wanting to be in The Simpsons. So they had a list of celebrities that they wanted to do guest bits.
He just got them out of the way. That's
Kind of, yeah.
celebrity
Just let's shove them
cameos.
all in one episode.
It
That's
really
so
kind of was that.
fucking
It was like,
dumb.
we've got all these people, let's do them all at once just to like tick them off the list. Yeah.
That's so fucking dumb.
Anyway, for our next episode of the podcast, I've got a celebrity list that I'd like to cram in.
I genuinely was almost unwilling to give this a rating because it was
Hang on,
so...
before we go into the ratings, can I just
Go
give you
for
some
it.
more production notes about this?
Sure.
So, one of the goals of the episode was to have an ex-president of the United States in.
Oh, yeah.
And they wrote, well, the quote here is, very respectful but cute parts for each living ex-president, which included Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, and Ronald Reagan. They all
Ronald
turned
Reagan.
it down with only Reagan responding politely, saying no. For the musical band, they immediately pitched for the Rolling Stones, and that was a no, though Keith Richards and Mick Jagger do eventually appear in The Simpsons much further down the line. And Winona Judd, who also turned down the role. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers finally accepted and ad-libbed on most of their lines. So
Fair
if you're
enough.
wondering why that guy went Mo right at the end, that's probably why.
Right, okay.
So it's just some fun facts about the episode there for you.
Oh,
Fair
absolutely.
enough.
Yeah, so does someone else want to go first?
Because you didn't give it a rating, yeah. Go on.
I will give it to Crazy Old Man Dances out of Homer. Because it's not what I wanted to see, but I can't take my eyes off it.
Okay.
I gave it lightning out of Homer because they couldn't make it strike twice.
Oh, that's clever.
Clever. As I was saying, I was almost unwilling to give it a rating because it is so incredibly bland, but it is not irritating enough to be bad. So one of the things I thought was, would I rather watch this or When Flanders Fails? And I would still rather watch this because
No,
this,
definitely.
this
yeah,
is
definitely.
just boring. It's not irritating. So I gave it a bat in another weirdly sexual situation out of Homer because I'm sure someone finds it funny.
Right. Fair
Yes.
enough.
And as you say, that's the end of season 4.
Yeah. Do we have any... Did this have anything to say about society before we get into the season proper?
I think it talks about how fickle viewers can be and how one simple slip-up is enough to ruin your career, or if someone comes in and does what you do better, then you serve no purpose in the entertainment industry. But I don't feel like it was trying to say that.
No.
I think that is just
I mean,
what it said.
yeah, we come to that a lot. Like, I don't think The Simpsons intentionally says...
A lot about
a
society.
lot of what there's not a lot of intent behind a lot of it beyond lol funny gag, but like that doesn't mean it can't have things that it observes or says about stuff, and that's what we're here for. But
Yes.
honestly, yeah, you got more than me on this one because this was just such an empty episode that I didn't really have any takeaway.
Yep. Probably the worst episode of this season.
Well, let's go. Let's find out. What did we think about season 4 on the whole?
Should I go through a list of the episodes then? Just really quickly?
Very quickly, yeah, sure.
We had Camp Krusty, A Streetcar Named Marge, Homer the Heretic, Lisa the Beauty Queen, Treehouse of Horror 3, Itchy and Scratchy the Movie, Marge Gets a Job, New Kid on the Block, Mr. Plow, Lisa's First Word, Homer's Triple Bypass, Marge vs. the Monorail, Selma's Choice, Brother from the Same Planet, I Love Lisa, Duffless, Last Exit to Springfield, So It's Come to This, A Simpsons Clip Show, The Front, Whacking Day, Marge in Chains, and Krusty Gets Cancelled. Homer the Heretic was probably my favourite, if I recall. I loved Homer the Heretic. Very fun episode.
I gave a few Homer out of Homers this season, so like there's some top tier shit. We've got Monorail in there, and I'm going to be hard to be talked down from Monorail, honestly.
God, Monorail is so mid. You guys are wrong.
I think over the whole, the quality of the season is far up there from what we've
it's a
had.
great
So,
season,
I mean, it's it's consistently better than what we've had previously.
Yeah, like I like Lisa's First Word. Selma's Choice is great. Yeah, I think most of the episodes of this season have been good, you know?
Yeah.
I just think they chose the shittest episode to end on.
I think Last Exit to Springfield is a great episode.
Yeah.
Oh, such a banger. Such a good one, yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, we've talked about The Simpsons sort of getting into its groove and where it sort of peaked and did well. Like, at this point, like, it is full steam ahead at this point. Like, this is full tilt. Simpsons is up and running and knows what it's doing and doing it very well by season 4. Like, this is where it... I don't know. Like, there were some bangers in season 3 as well, because we had like Stark raving dad and whatnot in season 3. Like, there's not to say season 3 was bad, but like this felt like a very, very solid season.
I'm trying to remember what episode I gave a homer out. I think I only gave 1 or 2 homers this season because I'm trying to cut back, which I know I can do.
I'm going back through my notes trying to figure out what else I gave it to, because I'm sure I gave 3, if not 4 homers this season.
I should stop deleting my old notes because I use the same document and just delete it every time.
I've literally written them in a book.
One day when people actually watch this show, they will collate it for us and they will be able to say, hey, they're the most generous homer giver.
I gave Homer Out of Homer to Marge Gets a Job with a note that said, unexpectedly, Homer Out of Homer, I really enjoyed this one. I don't really remember it that much at this point, but apparently at the time I thought it was great.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one. The one where Mr. Burns is in love with Marge. And then, the Tom Jones thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It also, I think it's funny that on Wikipedia, it lists like the guest stars of all the people, except Tom Jones. For some reason, they're just like, nah, Tom Jones isn't a guest star. Tom Jones is just part of the cast.
All right.
That's Welsh charm for you. Looking ahead, there's some very strong episodes in season 5 that we've got to look forward to.
Lovely. Can't wait for it.
All right, shall we finally move on to the one that John has been hyping up since the start of this podcast?
I don't know if that's true.
No.
That
You
true?
are not escaping from this. You are not escaping from
Citation
the absolute...
needed.
No, you are not escaping from the absolute rim job you have given this episode from the fucking start of the show. You are not escaping this.
You can hold me to that on, like, You Only Move Twice. I don't know about Homer's Barbershop Quartet.
You have
or
hyped
Bart
this
vs.
episode
Australia
for a while.
It's an excellent episode. Like, I'm not going to back down from it being a very good episode. I fucking love this episode. But maybe we should introduce it before we get that far. Maybe we should note that Homer's Barbershop Quartet aired on September 30th, 1993.
And is the first episode of season 5, if you haven't worked that out.
And it is the first episode of season 5. Well observed.
Right. What happened on September the 30th, 1993? A 6.4 on the Richter scale.
September?
September.
Yes, yep.
I'm alive!
You're alive. Woo!
I'm alive now!
This is the first episode that aired while you were alive.
What a disappointment.
Wow, what?
Earth and Fire have gone mental. They're singing the song.
Do you remember? Exactly.
Oh, right, yes.
I'm glad someone got that joke.
It was the 21st night of September. Wait, am I thinking of a different song?
No, you're thinking of the right song, but we're just using a
The date's
different
wrong.
date. Because no one remembers the date. We just remember that it happened in September, and most dates work with the song, so everyone has a different number.
Okay, but I feel like I'm right about
I think it's the 21st. Yeah, I think you're right.
Shall I go back to this earthquake?
Go on,
Sure,
then.
give us an earthquake.
Right, 6.4 on the Richter scale earthquake, and Lator, India, 28,000 killed.
Oof,
Oh, awkward.
Jesus fuck.
Why'd you bring the mood down?
Yeah, this is the headline event on this date.
We want to talk
Also,
about a bland-ass episode of Simpsons.
US Army General Colin Powell retires at age 56. Seems a bit young,
Only
but
he'd stayed retired.
nope,
Is he
he does
back?
not.
He will be back in the early to mid 2000s in the George W. Bush administration because he has some involvement in some Middle Eastern stuff.
Yay!
Yay!
Love that.
Yay, love that.
So, on the bright side, the UK number 1 is Boom Shake the Room by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
God fucking sake.
You can't have a more 90s song than that.
Oh man, this is a right banger to start my life with. I was born and everything went to shit.
It could be
Do
worse.
you, just as a random trivia, not to derail things too heavily, but like, do you know what the number 1 was on the day you were born?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I could find out
No.
while Michael continues to do his vamping.
As I say, I know full well that on the day I was born, it was Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh, you absolute Chad.
On this day, on the US side, Mariah Carey Dream Lover is the
That was
Number
what
one?
was number one when I was born.
was it? Well, in the UK.
Well, it just says I'm just on a website called birthdayjams.com. Oh, it was Mr. Vane in the UK by Culture Beat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
Not me neither. Never heard it.
Apparently, mine was Nothing's Gonna Change My Love for You by Glenn Medeiros.
An ice hockey player called Austin Matthews was born on the same day as me, which is funny. No, same year. Same day, not same year. They were born 4 years after me.
Okay.
No one was born when I was born. There was only me. The world could
You were
only
the
handle
only person on the planet born on that day.
The Earth could only handle it. They were like, nah, I can't take any more. There's too much life. Too much awesome has been brought into the world. We can't. All right, thanks, guys. All right, moving on.
I'm sure people appreciated you and your time.
No, this is my time right now, and I'm being unappreciated by two dickheads. Love me, damn it.
You have to earn your love.
No. I know for a fact I am the person on the podcast that people love to hate. I know that for a fact. People will not like me.
Loving to hate is a kind of love.
It's a kind of love. That's something an abusive partner says.
Lines have been crossed here, John.
Should we talk about Simpsons?
We should probably go into it, yes. Okay, so the chalkboard gag. I will never win an Emmy. They've
This
obviously
was
been,
so fucking pay.
no, they weren't very happy. I guess that Krusty got cancelled into. Ironically enough, they do, I think, eventually.
Yeah, of course they do. It's Simpsons.
And we get the couch gag, which is actually 3 couch gags.
This actually made me laugh like proper. This was very funny to me.
The first one, the family run into each other and shatter by glass. The second one, they run into each other and merge into some horrific
Like little
blob
clay.
creature. The third one, they run into each other and they explode.
I just like that it's like the take one, take two, take three. Yeah, it was good. It was silly.
My main vibe from this was they were about 10 seconds short on the runtime for this
So we
episode.
just added stuff in, yeah.
Yeah, so they just like made 3 different couch gags.
hmm
And they were like, shit, just use 2 of the ones we've already made and put them together.
Yeah, keep an eye out for these 3. I will be keeping an eye out to see if they come up again individually.
The episode begins with everybody at the Springfield swap meet, and Mayor Quimby's covering the mic as he points out this is the human roaches and the dregs of society, and you
This
can't
was
buy
so
dignity
weird.
here.
It was just Mayor Quimby being a dickhead.
Yeah, but he's a dickhead, so.
Yeah.
Then he finally introduces this shop meet, the swap meet, that's the one.
Swap meet.
Swap meet.
Yeah.
And he even does his Ich bin ein Springfield swap meet patron.
Yeah, that was...
Sure.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yeah,
I like
guess
it.
Setting things off on the right tone. Hope you like references,
Yeah,
just in case you forgot that one.
because this episode got 'em.
Then after everyone cheers him, says he needs a drink and a shower.
Yeah, again, it was just like, I don't get it. Like, is it just that he doesn't like interacting with the public? It just seemed so intense that it felt like it had a purpose beyond that gag, you know? So I was too busy being distracted by the absolute vitriol that
He's like a member of the elite ruling class.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like wanting somebody else's secondhand shit is just kind of gross to him. Is
I
like,
guess,
it's just
yeah.
elitism.
it just, like I said, it was similar to the joke in the last episode. Is it just went so ham that I was just like, I'm too busy not paying attention to the joke because of how angry you clearly are. Like, I just think they could have toned it down a little, and that would have made it funnier, which I know sounds like counterintuitive, but it just felt weirdly written to me.
We then cut to see some of the sellers, which includes Mo and his Lucille Ball oysters.
This was
It
so
doesn't
weird.
It does an impersonation of Lucille Ball, just in case you didn't get what the joke was.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar enough with Lucille Ball's
No, me
stuff
neither.
anyway, so maybe I
But
would have been in 1993. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure in '93 this went over like Rover. We then see the boys looking at religious figure sports cars, which include a
yeah,
This
Methuselah,
got me.
Methuselah rookie card, which was great.
Because when he said,
biblical baseball
yeah,
cards.
when he was so excited about like free baseball cards, I was like, where is this going? And then the whole 23 conversions in 1 year thing. That
Yes, yeah.
that was funny.
As Flanders points out that
yeah.
the boys are now learning about religion, they panic and then flee.
Religion,
Learning.
Let's get out of here. That was good.
But yeah, that's just kind of I like the cute play on words of conversions in sport versus conversions, religious.
Oh, I didn't even get that. I just laughed at the fact that that was his stat. Like in a religious.
So I think in American football you get a conversion, right? It's like, oh wow, this guy scored 26 conversions in AD 46.
Yeah, it's a football thing. Yeah.
Genuinely don't know.
We then see Lisa's going through a.
I've already forgotten
Bucket
what
of-
baseball team we support.
I support the Cardinals. I don't know about you.
Is that the one that
That Fixer Sports,
The Fixer
yes.
told us to. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that I support the Cardinals. There you go.
Sweet.
I have some concerns that your support may not be genuine.
But you know what? So do I.
Yo. First game of the new season starts next week. So fucking hyped.
And I'll watch it with you if you want.
I will watch it.
All right, where are we watching? All right, we'll do this after 6. Let's not do this on the podcast. Moving on.
But we see Lisa's going through a bucket and finds Malibu Stacy original door, which has some very pointy bazungas.
Yay, they took it off the market after one kid poked both his eyes out. Next stop, Funsville.
Spot of freeze frame fun there. There's a Mickey Mouse hand poking out of the box of stuff that's in.
Nah, good.
Yeah. We then see that Skinner's reunited with the old prisoner of war helmet that he wore. And
What the actual fuck was this bit?
just to remind you, Skinner was in Nam.
Yeah, I get that, but then they're like, small world, huh? Like, it fits like a glove. All of that was fine, but it's like, they just say small world, and then nod at you. What? What is this bit? This has to be a reference to some fucking esoteric movie that no one's seen. There is no way this is an intentional just gag.
The prisoner number is a reference. The prisoner number is a reference because we've had that prisoner number before because it's also Sideshow Bob's prisoner when he was in prison. He was prisoner 24601 because that's the prisoner number that Jean Valjean from Les Mis
He's a fraud,
has. Is he?
Yeah.
My favourite bit about the bit is there was an atomic bomb behind them as they were having this pleasantish conversation.
I love that character because he's never really utilized that much now. Like they used him obviously in what was it, season 2 for that whole episode.
Yeah.
And he just like kind of appears throughout the rest of Simpsons to be the guy with a lot of guns, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I hadn't even spotted the nuke behind him because my eye immediately was drawn to the shit. That's a fucking Confederate flag hanging up back there.
I guarantee that this entire series of bits is a wash with Glum toothpastes. Tune into fucking episode 2 if you want to hear that bit, or episode 1, whichever it is.
It's quite early on.
We then see Homer going through a box of valuables for 5 cents, which includes, assumably, the Bill of Rights, a classical guitar signed by.
The Bill of Rights, a violin signed by Stradivarius.
It's it is a Stradihuvius. Yeah,
Incredibly rare American stamps that were misprinted, and there's one more because I recognize them.
There's like a first edition of some rare comic as well. I think.
That's it. Yes, the first
Superman,
edition of
yeah.
Action Comics, which is Superman.
Yeah, every single one of these is either like a historic artifact or tremendously valuable.
Yeah, I'm
and they're
fairly
all
certain.
like
Like
5
Action
cents.
Comics issue 1 is like 10 grand.
Really? Shit.
Man. Then see Marge is trying to sell some crap, and it's including a wishbone necklace, which your son and daughter would love. The guy's response is, "I doubt my son or daughter is that stupid." Then we see Bart and Lisa looking over records, and they find Melvin and the Squirrels. Guess what? That might be a rip-off of. And comic book guy actually plays it, and it's what you would expect.
Yep.
Just with Melvin.
Then the record keeps playing, but nothing's coming out. Just
Yeah, sure, why not?
The record it ended. He put it on the last track, and then it came to an end. And yeah.
We then see that Lisa then is shocked to see that Homer is on an album, and we see that Homer was indeed in a band, and Lisa questions him about it, and Homer's surprised the kids don't remember because it was...
The last copy of Action Comics #1 that went on sale sold for $6 million.
Ooh.
I think we might have slightly undervalued it then.
With an 8.5 rating. Like, that's not even a 10 out of 10 for, like, you know, what's the word?
Quality?
Quality, condition, that's it.
Okay.
So it was an 8.5 and it sold for fucking $6 million. Holy balls. Carry on.
Shit. 5 cents.
The kids are shocked to see that Homer was in a band, and Homer is surprised they don't remember because it was only 8 years ago. Bob points out thanks to television he can't remember 8 seconds ago, and the family start laughing.
No, Bart.
Fuck, 8 seconds ago, Bart was 2!
Yeah, you shouldn't remember this because you were 2 fucking years old. It doesn't matter. Like, this bit is funny-ish, but no, you don't remember it because you were 2.
Well, Lisa was 0 when he's perfectly able to talk.
Yeah, we see in the flashbacks that we get that she was basically like, a baby.
Who could speak perfect sentences.
Yes, yeah, she learned to speak at the age of less than 1.
And Bart is concerned with his family are laughing about his lack of memory as he tries to point out it's a serious problem. They keep laughing and eventually Bart starts laughing before he forgets what they were laughing about. And Homer starts going into his flashback.
Yep, it is a flashback episode.
He started made some 80s references, but I didn't bother to write them down.
This time 1985, so hold on to your 1985 references.
The flashback begins with Homer revealing him, Chief Wiggum, Principal Skinner, and Apu had a Barbershop Quartet band, and Bart interjects going, Barbershop, and a prospector voice. That had been popular since God dang it. Those words there, I don't know what they were meant to be. Homer scolds him for talking like a prospector, and Bart's response is, God son it.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah, that was a weird bit. It's just Bart likes doing silly voices, which, as you observed last time, is probably something to do with the voice actress likes doing silly voices.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Homer goes back to his flashback and he says the crowds went wild for him, and we cut back and it's Barney throwing women's underwear at them.
Yeah. Multiple pairs of women's underwear.
It just got loads of them hanging around ready to throw at bands.
I just like that I can, based on the audio, you can kind of tell that they originally did just want the actors to sing in a Barbershop Quartet, and they were very clearly like, no, this is dog shit. So they did actually get someone to harmonize in the background that is very clearly none of the original actors. And
they got a band called the Dapper Dans, who are fairly famous for playing at Disneyland, specifically,
fair enough.
to do most of this. They did mix in some audio of the actors doing the voices.
You can definitely hear Chief Wiggum and Homer at occasions.
Yeah.
Mm.
And do you know what? The only one you can't hear is Apu. That I can think, because there's definitely moments where you can hear Principal Skinner. There's definitely moments where you can hear Homer, because obviously Homer like sings the main like lyrics, and then Wiggum just has such a distinct voice. But I'm guessing that's because Wiggum and Apu have the same voice actor, so
possibly.
So they probably just didn't bother.
I mean, maybe it's that Apu has got such a even distincter voice that like maybe it was distracting or sounded odd or something.
It's also really hard to sing in an accent.
That's probably the main reason. Homer goes into his explanation that rock and roll has become stagnant and achy breaky hard by Billy Ray Cyrus hadn't come out yet, so something had to fill the void.
2 years away.
7 years according to this.
7 years. My apologies.
We then see we get a couple of clips of the Barbershop Quartet in action, including at the old folks' home.
That's my son up there.
And the old crazy man asks the Hindu guy.
Hindu guy.
We then see they're also performing at the prison, and Snake is about to throw a rock at Chief Wiggum, but lets the song end before nailing him.
Song.
He absolutely nails him.
Absolutely, fucking hell.
We then see them performing at the church, and the patrons are so taken in by the song they're giving generously, which Lovejoy is quite happy about. Flanders is squeamish, and
you know, Reverend, this really isn't a hymn.
Lovejoy sends him off into the car park to look at an oil stain that looks like a saint.
St. Barnabas, yeah.
And we see them still performing, and Moses' audience has grown beyond Barney, which includes a name of an agent. I think I saw the word Nigel, but I don't think we ever got a last name.
It is Nigel, yeah. Nigel is I guess he's supposed to be based on the Beatles manager.
John,
which would
I'm
be-
gonna level with you. Literally everything in this episode is in some way a reference to the Beatles.
Yes, it is. Like, I mean, unless you are really familiar with the Beatles, which I'm not really familiar with the Beatles. I know the Beatles' music. I couldn't have fucking told you who their manager was. I guess he was fairly noteworthy because, like, looking into him, there are plaques and statues and shit of him out there in the world. Like, I guess he was pretty noteworthy. But I couldn't have told you who was the Beatles' manager. It is Brian Epstein, the guy who Nigel is, I guess, based on.
Nigel basically wants to recruit the Barbershop Quartet, but makes it clear he doesn't want Chief Wiggum because he's two village people and Homer has to replace him.
Why
Homer
not just
assures him,
ask him to change his clothes?
nope, that's too difficult.
It's like, you don't have to perform in uniform, my dude.
Homer's got a solution to this, which is to abandon Chief Wiggum in the woods.
Like a dog.
We then see Chief Wiggum howl at the moon as he realizes he's been abandoned. And we then cut to the auditions to replace Chief Wiggum, and some of these are quite interesting. We see that Abe Simpson is singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and he's getting very into it. This leads to
sing
Homer
a
telling him,
sexy version.
Homer tells him to
Love
get off
it.
the stage, and Grandpa says he can't. We then go to groundskeeper Willie singing Downtown, and he's really emphasizing the town.
Dune, yeah.
Then cut to Jasper singing about a summer breeze, and this goes on for a good
It's the theme from A Summer Place,
Yeah,
which, like,
The theme from a summer place. Just, yeah.
I get, obviously, they're kind of, like, making a gag here, but, like, I started digging into this for whatever reason, because that's just the way I work. And, like, it is an instrumental song, the original, but also there seem to be, like, versions of it which, like, oh yes, no, it has lyrics. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are the lyrics? Are the lyrics just theme from A Summer Place over and over again?
It reminded me. This is going to be a reference that literally no one will get. But there is a video online of someone doing an a cappella version of the Dark World theme from one of the Super Nintendo Zelda games, and it's literally the guy just going, "The theme from the Dark World, the theme from the Dark World," and that's all I could think of.
That's basically what this is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I found it. This probably was my favorite bit of the whole episode, was just him doing that.
Sorry, I missed a bit out. It's a bit where Homer introduces Nigel to the band, and he introduces him
Oh,
to
yeah.
Apu. And Apu's last name won't fit on the marquee, so he's renamed
Something equally
Apu.
as long.
Apu Debu Moshe.
De Beaumarchais, yeah.
Apu points out this is a great dishonor to his ancestors and his god, but okay.
I don't get this. I've got to be honest.
The thing. That
I think the
found
joke is that
interesting-
people will sell themselves out very
Yeah,
easily for
exactly.
money and fame.
But the
But why De Beaumarchais? What? That's got to be
because
something.
it's French and exotic.
Yeah, he chose he
Okay.
placed Apu's very long name with a equally long name, so there was no point in doing it.
The thing that's been really interesting for me, though, since Apu has been introduced, and we've got a lot of Simpsons to fully make this decision, but I have actually been impressed by how not offensive Apu's character is. I'm not Indian, so I can't, like, truly comment. But considering what we watch now and, you know, what we point out and say, this was racist, you know, there's obviously... John, we've talked about, like, in like some of Arnie's movies, the portrayal of women and those kind of things, and you can clearly see the moments where you're like, yeah, this is offensive, but there aren't that, like, what was it, last episode we were like, this isn't racist, it's just weird. And that's kind of what, like, they've managed to straddle the line pretty well. And again, the same thing with the bee guy. He's an actual reference to an actual Spanish show.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things where, you know, with context, that changes things. And I thought that was really fascinating.
I mean, we'll note that, like, sort of halfway through season 5, there is a very explicitly an Apu episode. And we've sort of talked about this before. Like, I feel like every time we talk about Apu, we have to, like, had the disclaimer, like, but by the way, we're not Indian and we aren't really in a position to weigh in on this. And because of that, I feel like some obligation to try and find a guest for that episode that might be able to, like,
Speak
have
with some
that
authority.
lived yeah, that lived experience to weigh in on this with some validity that we don't have.
I suppose, yeah, because there is that ultimate, the jokes are based on, aren't people from a different culture funny? And that is inherently not okay. I'm not going to say racist, but it is inherently like a power dynamic or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I'm a white guy. I can say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Simpsons.
Speaking of not being able to say nothing,
No.
well, he's singing about lots of things about the animals. It's a man that looks suspiciously like Chief Wiggum in a mustache.
That's Dr. Doolittle.
Yes, I was about to say, it is Dr. Doolittle until the mustache falls off, and Skinner, like you, is absolutely horrified to learn that it is, in fact, Chief Wiggum. Chief Wiggum decides that bird's got to fly and literally leaps on the piano and out the window.
This got a chuckle as well. This was
I mean, I will never not appreciate somebody just leaping out of a window. It's always funny. You can always do a leaping out of a window gag, and it's great.
This was something I learned recently, and I know I'm like delaying the episode a lot today, but have either of you guys watched the IT Crowd?
Yes.
Okay, not a great show, but whatever. Did you know the scene where the boss
he just
walks out the window?
Out of the window. Yep, yeah.
That was because the actor didn't want to be in the show anymore.
Oh shit, really? Did not know that.
Not in a negative way. He was just like, I want to move on to other projects. So my character's going to kill himself. And just did it. And everyone was like, all right. And they just rolled with it.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It worked.
Yeah, like, I mean, to be fair, like, I talk about, like, anyone jumping through a window is always great, but, like, to just do it casually elevates it that much more. He just
absolutely
walks out the window. It's great.
There's a great bit that everyone should watch that's done by Monty Python's Flying Circus. Just go watch Monty Python Flying Circus Office Workers window. That should find it very, very funny.
Rings a bell, but I can't remember it.
It's great. It's really good.
As the band are looking very depressed that they can't find a new member, they suddenly hear the heavenly tones of an Irish ditty, and they're wondering, who the hell is that? We then hear the trademark Burt belch, and they realise it's Barney.
Barney! And they all say it in harmony.
Yeah. Very, very American 90s sitcom.
Yeah.
Barney!
Norm!
Yeah.
Then see that Barney is... Barney's on the men's room floor looking for his toothpick. And Homer invites him to join.
Oh God, that's dawned on me what he was looking for.
Homer asks him to join the band, and Barney goes back to singing his lovely, charming song. We then cut to the next scene, and Wiggum has organised the protest, and we see the Barney negative signs and the burning effigy as Wiggum's delighted. Barney starts singing Sweet Adeline, and he's knocking it out of the park.
Sweet Adeline.
The audience start cheering, and Irishmen are crying.
They flip one of the signs upside down, so it says something positive about...
Oh no, all the signs change. One of them goes from Barney stinks to Barney doesn't stink.
Yeah,
but one of them is literally just flipped upside down, is what I'm saying, and that was really funny.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because it's not like upside down; it's rearranged to a degree.
Barney C. Wiggum no.
Yeah, because it used to say Barney is no Wiggum, and now it says Barney C. Wiggum no.
Right. Okay. It's like they cut up the sign really quickly.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Well, compliments Nigel on getting the girls to scream, and Nigel says he didn't actually do that, and Mo does his best Macaulay Culkin. Wah!
Yeah, that's a reference to Elvis. That happened with Elvis at some point, apparently.
Yeah, Elvis fever.
Yeah.
We then see that everybody's outside afterwards, and the band wonder what to call themselves, and the first suggestion is Handsome Homer +3. Barney likes it, but nobody else does. And Skinner says they need a name that's witty at first, but then gets less funny every time you hear it. And Apu suggests...
Kind of like Mo Man in the morning.
I'm glad it's on the same level. That's reassuring.
Pooh doesn't suggest that. He suggests the B-sharps, and they all laugh hysterically. It just kind of tails off to them just looking kind of indifferent about it, and then they settle.
That's what they wanted.
Get it? It's like a musical note, but it's also like an aphorism. Hilarious.
Yes. They all put their hands into caressing the new band name, and Wiggum's hand comes on as he tries to... Wiggum tries to play it off like, you can't blame a guy for trying, as they all sternly stare at him, and he arrests them all.
You're all under arrest.
We then see that all the kids have bought new items, including Bart, who's bought his new pencil case, and Homer immediately realizes it's a bong.
Yeah, but they don't show it. They just show enough of it to hint that it's a bong.
Well, sure it's a bong, don't they?
Not really.
I thought they showed it was a full-on bomb.
I think you can see it pretty fairly
Might
clearly.
be a Disney censorship thing.
Oh, maybe.
Well, sure, Disney, it was
interesting.
clearly a bomb.
Yeah, the version I've got, like, you can see it in Bart's hand, but like, also realized, like, as a kid, like, I had no idea what that was.
No, I'm pretty certain Sky cut this bit.
Interesting.
We then see that Marge is depressed that nobody bought a wishbone necklace. Homer points out he has made some money because he sold the spare tire, which obviously means that the tire goes immediately.
Immediate blowout.
This is the bit where we mentioned earlier they are driving through the desert for reasons. They are driving back to their home in Springfield from the Springfield swap meet through 12 plus miles of desert.
Yeah, and they're not 12
took the
miles
scenic
from
route.
Springfield.
That's the only
They're
explanation.
12 miles from gas. So that means they are more than 12 miles away from Springfield. And there's desert.
Look, Homer decided he wanted to take the long way round and go through Nevada.
The scenic route through Monument Valley. Yeah, okay. It's pretty scenic, I guess. I can't blame him for that.
As Marge goes off for gas, Homer begins telling the story again. And we see that Homer is struggling to write a song. His first attempt is just based on the opening of Al Capone's vault. Another 80s reference for you.
Okay, is that what that was? I didn't pick up on that one.
Yeah, there was a famous thing where they found Al Capone's vault in the 80s and they thought it was going to be full of jewels and millions of dollars. And when they opened it, it was jack shit in there.
No.
It was like a live nationalized televised event, so a bit of a letdown. Geraldo got the blame.
Yeah.
That's the song. Right.
Fair enough.
I've taught you all something.
Learning.
I'm learning.
36 Al Capone versions.
Religion. Learning.
Anyway, Marge has got some inspiration for a song.
Yeah, she has. Oh, great segue. Marge has a baby on board sign, which will stop people from intentionally ramming the car.
I didn't realise that baby on board signs were that old, to be honest. Do you ever
think they've
have
always
that
been.
millennial mindset where you just think everything was invented when you were born?
Not quite.
Not exactly, no.
I mean, I can acknowledge that the telephone and the phone were.
Well, I mean, literally everything, you bellends.
Bell was invented before I was born, too.
Oh, fuck off. Move. Let's just talk about Simpsons. I'm wrong, you're right, you're big, I'm small.
Thank you for finally admitting it. Homer starts writing the song, and he writes half the words and starts mumbling stuff and says, this writes itself.
Baby on board, something but wad.
We then see them recording the song in the studio, and Nigel congratulates them on recording their first number one.
Principal Skinner can now suddenly play the banjo.
And he has, at this point, workshopped it into an actual bop at this point. Like, this song slaps.
Oh yeah, the song is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Homer can't wait to tell Marge, but Nigel says that Homer needs to keep his marriage a secret because girls are going to want to have sex with him and he wants them to think that they can. Homer's response is, if he explains it exactly like that to Marge, it'll be fine. Spoiler alert, it's not fine. And
I've
Homer's
got to admit, I think Marge's reaction is a bit of an overreaction here.
It is. It's a lot. We just immediately smash
And
cut
it's
to
long.
Marge sobbing wildly on the bed. Yeah,
Comfortable.
yeah. It is.
Homer makes it worse by pointing out it's only until he's done his tour in Sweden.
Like, again, I don't want to be the guy that's like always saying how I would rewrite Simpsons, but in my opinion, the best way to do this gag would have been Homer to say that, and then it's smash cut to him getting slapped, and they move on.
That was immediately my thought as well. I was like, surely Marge just slapping him would have been a better gag. Yeah.
But instead, we get this just uncomfortable moment that's just like, should I feel bad? So I think, just cutting to him getting slapped and then moving on would have been funnier. And again, I don't want to be the guy that's like, I'm smarter than the Simpsons writers, but I'm kind of smarter than the Simpsons writers, guys. Let's be honest.
We then cut to the song actually being played out on the airwaves, and Grandpa's vibing to it, points out again that this is his son. Jasper points out that
Paul Harvey's on.
And they changed the radio over to the story about Roy Cohn. We then
That
see
boy
the slightly...
that no one liked turned out to be Roy Cohn.
Wow.
Wow.
We then cut to the slightly more interesting Captain McAllister fighting a squid, and the song brings them together in harmony, and Captain McAllister says he's got no ill will towards him, he just heard there was gold in his belly.
Simpsons predicted hentai.
He just
I feel like
wanted the
hentai
gold.
existed before
Hentai's very old. But I just wanted to make the bit, okay? I just wanted to make the joke.
Hentai was definitely before your birth.
Michael! I feel like that was admitting something there. I can tell you some stories.
I can probably Google some.
Stories about hentai. Emphasis on about. I don't want hentai. I just want stories about it.
That's a difficult Google.
That is a difficult Google. Don't let anyone use your computer after that.
You will be on some form of applause after that.
You'll need Clorox wipes for your computer for that kind of Google.
Is that how I clean my search history?
Just get a surface wipe. Just rub it on your screen. No one will ever know.
It still comes up in the search bar. We then see that Marge tells Homer he's going to be famous, but Homer says it's not going to change him. He's going to be the same loving father he's always been. Marge then asks if he's seen Bart, and Bart says, he's left him somewhere, and we see that Bart is underneath the laundry basket with rocks on.
Literal boulders on top of the laundry basket.
We then see that Homer has bought his father a pink Cadillac like Elvis, and Grandpa is delighted, but he has a heart attack, and we just see Grandpa's hand going. We then get our second Beatles reference where everyone's at JFK Airport, and it's filmed and shot in the exact same way as the Beatles getting off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
We then see that they've answered some questions from the press, which is Apu being asked if he's really an Indian, and Apu's response to this is, by the many arms of Vishnu, it's a lie.
Yeah, okay.
Barney's then asked how he joined the group, and Barney gives the true answer of being found on the men's room floor, and everybody laughs, and Barney's just got a single tear. Someone then asks Principal Skinner if he's the funny one, and Skinner just says, yep,
yes.
And everyone just laughs in hysterics. We then see that the group are performing again, and Chief Wiggum has miraculously joined the band again.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that. Like,
you can hear him in the background. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they've just reused the audio from earlier of them singing "Goodbye, My Coney Isle." Because Wiggum's still mixed into the audio there.
It's them lip syncing. It's a very early lip syncing. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe.
Everyone's enjoying it, apart from Ronald Reagan, who is upset that he has to attend this when he could be working.
No, he said he could be working mummy.
Yes, that was uncomfortable. Why did Ronald Reagan say the word mommy? I don't like that Ronald Reagan said the word mommy.
I don't know. We need an American.
Also, like, last episode, they were trying to get an ex-president. Like, oh, come on, you could have got him for this. You'd have done it. Maybe.
He would not.
We should stress that this is not Ronald.
This is the next best thing to Ronald Reagan, and it's like, I guess probably Hank Azaria or someone doing Ronald Reagan.
It's always Hank Azaria.
Homer then dedicates the next number to a very special woman. She's 100 years old and she weighs over 200 tons. One guy takes him literally and thinks the monstrous woman is coming.
Will devour us all.
He then leaps off the boat, and Homer then sheepishly points out he was talking about this. Johnny Carson reappears and says as he makes one of his gags about Chief Wiggum being a cast-off, and we see Wiggum start chewing the television afterwards.
Like Elvis.
He's then pointed out that the remote is right next to him, and it's in his holster. He turns the channel, and Joan Rivers is now mocking him, so he throws his gun from the TV.
Also, this is, I think, where we get Wiggum's first name for the first time, because his wife actually calls him Clancy.
Yeah,
Clancy. We then see that Marge has returned and is changing the tire, and Homer says that all the B shops now need is the approval of record company lowlifes, which cuts us straight to the Grammys.
Hilarious.
We then cut to David Crosby, who appeared in Marges and Chairs.
2 episodes on the trot where we're reusing celebrity guest actors.
We then see that in the award for Outstanding Soul, Spoken Word, or Barbershop Album of the Year, Aretha Franklin is one of the nominees, just in case you were wondering.
I was desperately trying to figure out if the other 2 were a reference to something, and like nobody has the answer for me on that one. So
I have a sneaking suspicion that the other barbershop were the ones that did the harmonizing.
I thought they were the Dapper Dans as well. I was trying to figure that out, and I could not find any pictures of them where they look anything like that. So
that's a shame.
Struggling. But also the Dapper Dans have been around for like a long fucking time, frankly, and they've changed the people in the band a lot. So trying to find who is in the Dapper Dans, God knows, honestly.
long short of it is the B shops win, and Barney tells David Crosby he's his hero. And David Crosby goes, "Oh, you like my music?" And Barney's shocked to learn he's actually a musician.
I don't get that. Is it meant to be a Bill Cosby joke?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just silly. I don't know. It's just like, you're my hero. You like my music. You're a musician.
Fair
I have
enough.
no idea who he actually is.
It's silly that he's his hero, but doesn't know what his work is. Yeah.
Homer then declares that he gets the greatest thrill of his life as he meets George Harrison. Homer is very excited
Love this
because he wants to know where George got the brownie from.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah,
Where did you get
get
that
that
brownie?
George Harrison then
Nom,
points
nom,
out there's a
nom,
big pile of them, and Homer
Big
goes
part of 'em over
into.
there.
Homer laughs crazily, then goes into them and goes to his magical plate of brownies, which never goes down.
I did like him just going, "What a nice fella."
Yeah, that was such a
George
joke.
Harrison,
Oh, what a nice
George
man.
Harrison's just in the background watching this on
You had no conversation with this man, but okay, sure.
Nice fella.
We should stress that this is the second of the Beatles cameos in The
It
Simpsons.
sure is.
Ringo
I don't
still
think the
appeared in.
Ringo Starr one's ever going to be topped, though. I fucking love that one.
Well, you've got one more to come, so we'll see what you think of that one when the time comes.
I don't know where that one is in the. I know it's somewhere up ahead, but I
It's,
don't know how far
I think
ahead
it's I think it's a couple of seasons away, if I'm honest.
Got to be at least.
We then see Homer on the phone to Lisa, and Lisa says, "You beat Dexy's Midnight Runners," and Homer says, "Well, you haven't seen the last of them." Spoiler alert, we have.
Oh, is that what
They're
that
very,
was?
they're very infamous for being a one-hit wonder.
Oh, okay, right.
Come on, Eileen.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Barney turned up in the chat there for a second.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lisa, who can speak full sentences despite the fact we've established she's less than one, tells Homer she misses him, and Homer says, "I miss you too."
At some point in this, there was a title that said we'd cut to 1986, so, like, this wasn't...
Okay.
This was only 7 years ago now, not 8, but... And Lisa must be, like, 1 now, but... who's
Okay.
counting?
I'll accept it.
But also, like, probably worth noting that, like, this does seem to be, I would argue, probably the first, like, definitive instance of The Simpsons' weirdly fluid and shifting timeline.
Yeah.
Because, like, this episode does imply that Bart was born specifically in 1983 now, when, like, he was earlier than this previously. And it's like, oh, it just changes with whatever we need it to be based on current year.
And that's the way it always should be.
Yep, that's the way it always will be for the next 29 years at least.
Homer is now somehow 35 or something like that.
I think canonically in current Simpsons, Homer's about 40. When
Right.
it started, he was like 35-ish, yeah, something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
I think they specifically say he's 38 for a while.
Yeah, it does slowly shift over time, and I think at present time they consider him to be 40.
You're
He's
almost
definitely
as old
been
as
referred to as...
Homer.
I don't, no. I mean, depending on which season you ask, I'm older than Homer. He's definitely been declared as 36 at some point.
We then see Homer looking forlorn out in the distance as he looks at the family bourbon advert. And the bellhop comes up with his champagne, and Homer's got no tip for him, so he gives him his Grammy. The bellhop is excited and realizes it's a Grammy and throws it off the balcony. We just hear a guy from below say, "Don't throw your garbage down here," and Homer gets wanged.
Yeah, they
by his own
really
car.
laid it on thick with the Grammys, man.
Well, I don't like Grammys, huh?
We see the family are now back home, and we see Homer start going for the B shop's merchandise, which includes cups, mugs, and hey, silly foam. Homer points out the foam was poisonous, so it got taken off the market. But Homer's response to this is, if you eat it, you deserve to die. But then cut to Bart eating the foam. Lisa says she can't understand why he's not popular, and Bart says, "It's the reason that you screwed up like the Beatles said you were bigger than Jesus." And Homer says they did it all the time and shows the title of their second album, Bigger Than Jesus,
Jesus.
which is the B shops walking over water.
Oh, it's like the Abbey Road thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but on water. Yeah.
But Homer then says they're about to learn the iron law of show businesses, which is what comes up must come down. Lisa's response to this is Bob Hope has been consistently popular for 50 years, and then points out Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Tom Jones are still going, despite Tom Jones is the only one still going out of that list.
It's not necessarily because they lost popularity. I think it's because they're dead.
Yeah, though, that was the point I'm making. But Marge then goes into a little anecdote about distracting the kid from Homer's absence, which includes making a fake Homer.
Horrific Homer effigy, yeah.
Just in case you missed the joke in the Gabbo show that happened previously.
Oh, it is the same joke, yeah.
Yeah, it goes wrong with the tape recorder going fast and the kids being traumatized and the balloons popping. Eventually, this leads to Marge having the dog bury it.
I don't think she asked the dog
Yeah,
to bury it.
I was
think it
thinking
was
the
just
same
thrown
thing.
I think she just threw it out and the dog buried it.
Yeah, pretty much. Then cut to the band struggling to come up with new material in the thing, which includes singing about all the medical poop called the Surgeon
What the
General.
I mean, I get that the whole point of this was it's a bad song and they were struggling, but like, what the fuck was this song?
I thought it was them having to do an ad to get by or something.
I think he wrote a song based off an ad.
Right, okay.
I mean, assuming the lyrics on Frinkiac here are anything close to accurate, for all the latest medical poop called Surgeon General C. Everett Coop, poo-poo-pa-doop.
I will say, I think the Mr. T song had legs.
I mean, is it? Yeah, yeah. They should have stuck with the Mr. T song.
I pity the fool who doesn't like he.
Okay, Charles Everett Koop was the American Surgeon General from 1982 to 1989.
Good.
He presided over the HIV/AIDS crisis. So, woo!
We know to blame.
Happy times.
We then see Homer asks where Barney is, and Skinner points out Barney's with his new girlfriend, who looks suspiciously like Yoko Ono.
Yep.
Was Yoko Ono like the first real example of just horrible misogyny ruining a fandom? Or the Beatles aren't as good now, must be his new girlfriend.
I mean, she did influence them into making weird music, so
No, but she didn't influence them. John Lennon moved that way in his life. It wasn't Yoko Ono fucking using her spooky Asian magic to turn John Lennon shit. That's just where John Lennon was in his life.
Okay, fair enough. I will defer to you on that one because I do not know anywhere close enough about the Beatles for that.
Sad incel shit in the 80s. Like, incels have existed for right, fuck it, I'm not gonna rant because this episode will be like 4 hours long.
Yeah, my knowledge of Yoko Ono is, I guess, just the general common public perception of her, of that she was a bit weird.
She gets generally blamed for the Beatles breakup, but I'm sure there were other issues at play that are more relevant.
Nothing to do with it.
I think generally the thing is John Lennon was a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
The song that they make off the back of this, which is
a reference to number 9 from the White Album.
Revolution 9. Yeah, I went and listened to that because I was like, what the fuck is this about? And went and listened to it. And I was like, yeah, no, that's weird. That's not exactly what I expected from the Beatles. That is not the usual Beatles fare. I can see how somebody who had previously like enjoyed, I don't know, Yellow Submarine or whatever might listen to that and go,
what the hell
these
is
aren't
happening?
the same Beatles, huh?
No, but that's the thing, is like, if you like genuinely go and listen to more of the Beatles than just their hits, they did all fucking kinds of shit. I'm not saying they did stuff like number 9, but the Beatles have always been experimental, or always were, whatever. But again,
I genuinely only know their hits, so yeah. Okay.
In the spirit of that one meme, leave Yoko Ono alone.
Fair enough.
We basically get the parody of this as Barney says he's taking Barbershop in new and strange directions, which is just his girlfriend saying number 8 and Barney belching.
Yep.
This leads to many an eye roll. We then see that Homer says they know that things are over because Skinner shows up with a US magazine which rates them as not hot, and everyone realizes that's the moment to split up the band.
No. He doesn't bring out US magazine. He brings out Us magazine.
Sorry.
Which I quite liked. It was like, I've got the latest edition of Us magazine.
But they are not hot.
It's got Alf on the front cover as well.
Because he's hot.
Yeah. We then see everyone go back to their normal lives, which is Skinner asking Willie what he did, how he spent his summer, and Willie apparently made millions in software and lost it all at the track.
I want that episode. Where's that episode? Show me the Willie Summer episode.
I think Willie must have bet on the same horse Krusty did.
Groundskeeper Willie is actually like the real inventor of Apple.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That would be amazing. We then see Apu go back to the Quickie Mart and he says it's good honest work. So when he immediately charges $12 for a quarter of milk. And we see that Barney is back at Moe's and Mo asks him what he wants, and Barney wants a beer, and Barney's girlfriend wants a single plum floating in perfume served in a man's hat.
And
Mo has both ready to go.
Just does it.
He's got both ready to go.
Yeah, this was served as some sort of weird art installation that was kind of connected to Yoko Ono at some point as well. So, like, at least it's semi-endorsed as a gag, I guess. It's not sexist. Yoko Ono approved it. Sort of, maybe.
Homer returns to the power plant and we see that he's been replaced by a chicken. Homer says he'll give the chicken a good home, and then we cut to Homer patting his belly saying he did. Homer says he enjoyed his 5.5 weeks at the top. And the kids have many questions, which point out how implausible this whole thing was, including, well, what happened to all the money? Why has Homer not hung up his gold record? Since when can Homer write songs? Homer gives a great cop-up answer. There's answers to that, but they'll have to wait another time off the bed. We then see Homer stare at the album, and he lifts it up to his face, and we see that Homer was facing the wrong way when the photo was taken. So we get a nice shot of his crack of his arse.
Yeah.
And this leads to Homer making a phone call, and we see him on the roof of Moe's in the next scene, and Skinner says, I can't remember the last time we were here. Turns out they were on the Dame Edna show last year together. I don't know if anyone remembers the Dame Edna show.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, this leads to Baby on Board being performed for the public, and the public are enthralled by it.
One last
human
Beatles
fly.
reference.
Yeah,
human
they're all dressed as the Beatles were dressed for their rooftop performance, yeah.
The human fly is not happy because he spent all day dyeing his underwear and everyone's not paying attention to him.
Honestly, I would be more impressed by a dude climbing a building using plungers than I would for mediocre a cappella singers on a roof of a pub.
I don't know. They were a #1 hit in the 80s. You've not been paying attention.
So were the Rembrandts. No one remembers them.
Don't know who they are.
They wrote the Friends theme.
Ah, okay.
A newspaper boy is saying the bee shops are on the roof, and a guy buys the paper, realizes he's been lied to, and starts chasing him. George Harrison is just driving past in his limo and comments it's been done.
It's been done.
And Lou points out to Chief Wiggum that it's beautiful, isn't it? And Chief Wiggum says, go get the tear gas. The episode ends with the zoom out of the song, and we get a bit in the credits where Homer says he hopes they've passed the audition. Everyone laughs, including Barney, and then we just hear Barney's voice go, I don't get it. And that's the beginning of season 5.
Cool. I mean, I get the impression Matt will not agree with me on this, but I thought it was a solid start to season 5.
What a mediocre piece of trash.
I like this episode.
I distinctly recall last episode you were really looking forward to this.
I was, because I thought it was good. My memory failed me.
Okay.
I like this episode. I think there's enough gags to keep it going.
Meh.
Yeah, it's solid. I didn't have a lot of notes on it particularly, but like a thoroughly enjoyable episode. I mean, I like Barbershop Quartet. Just as music
quartets.
Anyway. Yeah.
I love Barbershop Quartets. But
I could probably credit this episode with me liking it because, like, God knows I wasn't like heavily into music as a kid anyway. So, like, this probably has some formative influence in my musical tastes anyway. I would imagine.
I should send you some of the ink spots. They're great. They're not quite a Barbershop Quartet. They're from the 1930s. They're more just like a group of like singing dudes, but they're really good.
Okay.
Have you ever heard the Fallout theme, like the one that was used in Fallout 3?
Nope.
Okay, well they sung that.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check them out.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I will say they probably padded out more than a bit of this episode with just singing "Baby on Board" over and over again.
And
but
Beatles
like, also,
references.
It's a fucking bop. What can I say?
They got a lot out of the dapping downs, let's say it like that.
Oh god, yeah. I hope they got paid well for this one.
Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Oh, what's your out of Homer's?
I will give it but cognitive decline out of Homer, because I too will forget this in 8 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's such a bitter man.
It wasn't good. It was just so bland.
Wow. Okay.
What are you giving it, John?
Oh, I gave it a Baby on Board out of Homer because it was a #1 hit.
I'm giving it past the audition out of Homer.
Okay, fine.
I knew I was going to be the villain of this episode. I'll lean into it. I'm fine with it.
I'm mildly disappointed you didn't like it because I was like, oh, I know this episode's a banger, and you were really excited for it because you remembered it being a banger. This is going to be one that everybody loves. This is like launching into season 3 with some top tier shit again. This is going to be a great sort of start to things.
Nah.
No?
Ironically, Matt has proved to be the Yoko Ono of this episode.
I'm the really artsy one that tries to take us in a new direction, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
You drink your
so.
perfumed hat.
I will, and I'll love it.
Did it have anything to say about society?
This was a reference to the Beatles. That is all.
Yeah, that is kind of it.
The rise and fall of fame can be fleeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Also, wishbone necklaces are stupid.
Wishbone necklaces are stupid and gross.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, most jewelry made out of bones is a bit weird.
There are levels of it though. You could like intricately
bone
carve
is
something,
one
or you
thing,
can
yeah.
just have your like Sunday dinner leftovers strung together in a necklace.
Yeah, hanging
or,
hanging bones from your neck is a bit odd.
Oh, I haven't given you any Nate Myers scores. Nate Myers gave Krusty Gets Cancelled 3.5 out of 5.
Nah.
I do not know what Nate Myers gave to this because I'm going to have to abandon this bit. Nate Myers didn't review season 5.
So do we
no.
not have anyone that just inserted themselves into the fandom anymore?
Oh, honestly, I would say that bit probably fizzled out somewhere around season 3. Frankly, David B. Grelk was cited frequently on Wikipedia for the articles for seasons 1 and 2. Nate Myers was cited in season 3. Honestly, he's not shown up in the articles on season 4. He's still carried on reviewing them. If you dig up his articles on the Internet Archive, they're still there. But and I've been quoting them because it mildly annoys you and it amuses me to do so. But there isn't anyone really frequently cited as with their scores for the last season, and as far as I can make out thus far from season 5.
I don't think there ever will be another David B. Grelk, though, who just
I don't think there
decided
is,
to
no.
be an authority on The Simpsons.
I've said before, my David B. Grelk is Nathan Dittum, who keeps popping up with the top however many fucking 50 celebrity cameo film references or whatever it is. I think it's film references specifically.
Yeah.
Every time they make a film references, this showed up in the list of so-and-so's top 50 film references, and it's all film references. Come the fuck
That
on,
is
stop.
Simpsons.
You don't need to list them by quality. The Simpsons is fucking 50% by volume film references.
Yep. No, it's fair. It was the dawn of reference culture, or over reference culture, I think. It's not quite Family Guy, but it's definitely there.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Simpsons heavily inspired Family Guy, so you can blame The Simpsons for Family Guy if you want.
Blame The Simpsons for a lot of things.
Yeah. Anything else to add, or should we wrap things up?
I think we got to wrap things up.
Matt, anything to advertise?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Michael, anything to advertise?
Yeah, but you can follow me on Blue Sky at Buttermash Horse if you really feel inclined. I'm assuming John has a spiel for the previous episode, so I'll leave that to you.
I have a spiel for the previous episode, do I? What?
No,
what are we talking about?
If you want to listen to any of our fine podcasts beyond...
I see
what's
what
on
you mean.
YouTube,
Okay, I thought you meant the specific, one previous episode to this,
He
I had something to say about
some
it.
intense vitriol that I was I thought this feels uncalled for.
Yeah, there was something very pointed about that.
No, I tried to do it last time, and you had a whole thing prepared, so I felt bad about it. So
you did a fine job. Don't worry.
You guys
it's
gonna
fine.
make out?
Thank you.
I was mostly just surprised that you did plug our YouTube channel and Spotify and everything.
And what are those fine channels, John?
If you are enjoying this podcast in audio format on the Spotifys or the Apples, did you know we have a video format and it is on YouTube /MolemanPod. Find us on there. There's a whole thing where you can see the scenes we're talking about. If you're watching us on the YouTube and are like, this is a clunky and unwieldy format to listen to podcasts in, why the fuck did Google get rid of Google Podcasts? Why the fuck would I want to listen to all of my podcasts on YouTube? Did you know we also are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Listen to us on those as well. Just look for Mole Man in the Morning. We are well established enough at this point to be findable, which I'm quite appreciating. Follow us
Yeah.
on all of the things, review us on all the things, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, give us a like, tell the algorithms how great we are.
Yes,
These
please.
are good. Follow me personally at maroka.bsky.social over on the Blue Skies. And follow my personal YouTube channel, which is Button Mash. It's not got any new videos. It's not going to for a while, but if you want some video gaming content, there's some there. If you've not seen it or heard of it yet, you can go watch some old video gaming content.
Go watch the
It's
Teenage
still there.
Exocolonist video. I'm mentioned in that, and that immediately
You
elevates
sure
it.
Yep. But otherwise, yeah, thank you all for joining us, for listening, for watching, whatever format you may be in. We'll be back next time, hopefully with a guest. I'm going to poke a guest about joining us because I want to get a guest on because we got a couple good uns.
We're gonna have Gaston on the show.
The Disney villain.
Somehow that took me a moment to wrap my head around, but you're mocking my speech. Fine. Okay. We've got Cape Fear. It's fucking Sideshow Bob. He's back.
Yo,
Yo,
Let's do
fucking
this.
Sideshow Bob. Let's fucking go. But in order to elevate that to the quality it deserves, I feel we need a guest. So I'm gonna do my fucking damnedest to get that.
have fun.
But we'll see you then.
You'll have longer than usual because I'll be in America.
Ooh. Okay. Don't get disappeared, please.
I will be the goodest boy and never say anything about Mein Führer.
Oh god, you're gonna get disappeared. You're gonna get
Bye, Matt.
so fucking disappeared.
Worth.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Should have sang that, really, shouldn't I?